What's going on, all you heathens? Test, test, mic check. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? What's going on, people? What's happening? Test, test, test. Everything sounding good? What's happening, y'all? Let me go ahead and drag this chat. Bring that from there. Bring that right over here. And yeah, we should be good to go. Alright. So starting at the top, shout out to the homie NeoGameSpark. He said Flame has a cool looking cat. Yes, indeed. Flame does have a really cool looking cat. As far as cats go, that is a very photogenic one. I'll say that much. We got B-Rex's Meme Corner. Hey, Neo and company. I won't be here for the start of the stream, but I should be in around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I will be sharing my Riz story since I missed last week. Oh, shit. That is right. Thank you for reminding me about that, B-Rex, because you said you had some stuff to inform us, and I said, oh, no. We need to hear the full story from beginning to end. So fingers crossed you get here within the next hour and we can chop it up. We got JMac19. What up, Flame? Nowhere in sight. Oh, wait. Oh, man. Yeah, that's right. You know, Flame, every now and then he's first, but this week, of course, we got Flame himself. Indeed, I do. Thank you, Neo. But you know I'm dragging you for that prediction show. Dragging me for what? Oh, boy. This is going to be something else. But hello to you too, Flame. We got J-Fam in the chat. We feasting tonight. Like or else Neo's going to teach your mom how to play Yakuza 0. Hey, listen. You know what? Shoot, I would do that by default, Jason. You don't even gotta make that shit a threat, bro. If I can take the gospel, the church of Yakuza, like a dragon, if you will, and bring that to the masses, that is my goal in life. We got Angel in the chat. What's going on, Rhino? As you join, hit that like button, yo. That's a fact, y'all. If y'all are tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. We got Matthew in the chat. Atlanta, what's going on, my brother? Long time no see. How you doing? You still over in the UK? We got Pooh Bear. We got Naruto ST. What's going on, gentlemen? Yeah, everyone was here early. Oh, shit. And look at this man, Don Otaku, done changed his name. Because once that Zelda stuff came and went, he's like, nah, I got to go back to being an Xbox fan. So we got X-Don the Otaku, the ex-Nintendo fanboy, who's just posting that Neo emoji. That's, listen, after Zelda, man, you coming home to Xbox, where, fingers crossed, this will be the year where they show off games. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I feel like we've been doing this for 10 years straight. We got Retro Lad in the chat. What's going on, Chris? Hey, everyone. It's been a tough week. Lost my cat. Hopefully this stream cheers me up. I'm seeing Spider-Verse 2 tomorrow. I'm playing Street Fighter 6. Oh, shit, Chris, my brother. I am sorry to hear that, my man. Pets are something very special in our lives, and it's one of those situations where my mind over the past couple of years, especially the past like 3 years or so, it's been taking me to places when it comes to being a pet owner. And it's one of those things that we don't like to think about because it's like, hey, live in the moment, enjoy everything for what you got, but it's rough, man, when you see things like, it's taking them a little bit longer to get up on the steps, or just a bunch of other things. But the important thing is you just remember all the good times that you have with the animal, whether it's a dog, a cat, an iguana, fish, what have you, and cherish those memories, man, because they may only be in our lives for a short period of time, but to us, we were their whole world. We were their everything. And I know you gave that cat a really good life, man. I know that much is certain. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Julian Phoenix. What's going on, my brother? We got NKDN. What's up, bro? We got Kids Stupefy. We got David Biglad. What's going on, gentlemen? Let's see. We got Valkyrie24. What's up, Maddie? We got Kermit the Frog. How's it going, everybody? I copped Tears of the Kingdom this weekend. Just finished the Great Sky Island, and this is the most fun I've had since Persona 5. I can't wait to see what else. Let's see what the rest of the game has in store. Yeah, man, that Tears of the Kingdom is that gift that keeps on giving. And I see we got a couple of super chats coming in, so I'm just going to breeze through all of the shout outs just so we can start the show properly. I'm not ignoring you guys. I see the support and I appreciate it. Let's see who else is in here. We got Exploit. What's up, my brother? We got Corey Gryffindor. Hey, going to see Shin Kamen Rider tonight. Ooh, my brother. You definitely enjoy that shit, man. Was it shit? No. It was Shin Ultraman that came out recently, right? I wanted to see Shin Ultraman in theaters. Didn't get a chance to. And now there's just Shin Kamen Rider. I got to see when they showing that in theaters next. Because I do want to see one of these, man. Like, the last Shin movie I saw was Shin Godzilla. And that was years ago. And I heard really good things about Ultraman. And Kamen Rider too? Oh, shit, man. Got to do that. We got Echoes93. We got Red Sage. What's up, y'all? We got Michael Santiago. What's good, my brother? We got Feared Camille in the chat. We got Out in Space. Yes, sir. It is Diablo 4 week. It's Diablo 4 week. It's Spider-Verse 2 week. It's Street Fighter 6 week. It's everything. Everything is happening all at once this weekend. Let's see. We got Terrence JG. What's up, my brother? We got Tom92. He says, I will fight you, Terrence JG. Jesus. Well, what's up with all the hostility in the chat tonight, man? We got Belladonna. What's going on, little sis? I'm doing good. I got a medal today for the award ceremony and 6 awards. Oh shit! Look at Bella, the youth of tomorrow, just bragging on us, and I love that. I fucking love to see that, Bella, because you gonna go far. You gonna go far. We got Zubin Jacob. What's up? What's up? After the insane layup opportunity that PlayStation has provided last week, I still think Microsoft might fumble the bag. Sorry, can't trust them still. Yeah, we are definitely gonna get into that. There was some stuff that happened last week following the PlayStation showcase, and it is something I did want to speak my piece on. We got Long Live Kevin Samuels. What's up, my brother? We got the big Sambroski. We got Wee Man on Wheels. My boy, how's your night going? Your positivity has always been contagious. Oh, man, I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, bro. My night is going pretty good, bro. It's been a pretty chill day. Nothing to report. I'm finally feeling back to myself after the edible I took last night, which was a whole story in and of itself. Oh, man. Like, I'm at the point now where I only take an edible like once every couple of weeks. But every single time I do, man, it's like 12 hours of the next day. I just be zen as fuck. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Nothing will bother me. It's so chill, man. Everything is chill. You seem chill. We got JM Lampshade in the chat. What's up? We got Zero. Let's see. We're almost at the bottom, gentlemen. We got Black Bond. Fuck Ultraman. Fuck Kamen Rider. Goatman, aka Gridman. Oh, shit. Bond is pissing everybody off tonight. But at least he ain't bringing up anything about Legend of Heroes. Oh, Jesus Christ. This fucking nigga. I spoke too soon, man. I just gotta stop doing that. That's that kid smooth effect. What can I say? But what's going on, Black Bond? It's good to see you. Taking a break from whatever that party you went to over the weekend, if you can call that a party. Yeah, okay. So I think we've officially caught up when we've given everybody shout outs. So yeah, let's just nope. I was wrong. I was wrong. We have one of the most important people in the chat. We got Bryce Hag in the chat. What's up? Kind of digging the later streams. Yeah, you know, it's a little different, you know. Like, originally I was going to do this stream at 6:30. That was the game plan. But then I was like, no. I still got some stuff I got to take care of. So we moved it to 7:30, and then I was still out taking care of stuff, and I was like, whoa, I got to push this back, bro. So pushed it back to 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. So all things different are happening today. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, that's, I think it's more or less everybody in the chat, except Tamora's 72299. What's going on, my brother? Thank you so much for the super chat. And we will get to those momentarily all after we do the intro. And finally, like the final shout out of the day to the homie Ace Breaker. Of course, he would be the final one. He always finishes last. Yes, sir. But what's going on, people? Welcome to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the stream. Ask Neo is my weekly Q&A series where you guys ask questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. But before we get into the chat, I do want to direct y'all's attention to down below in the video description. We got a couple of links of interest. Basically, all of my social media outlets. If you want to stalk your boy Neo, everything is down there, from my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter page, and our Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos. If you guys want to find me on any of those outlets, stuff is going to be down below. In addition to links for the Patreon, YouTube membership, all that great stuff is going to be there. And I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who's been donating as we've gotten through the intro. All the super chats. Super chats are a great way to support the channel, have your questions answered with priority, and it just keeps things fun all throughout because you guys ask such interesting questions. There's no real flow or structure to the show. We don't have too many topics that we want to hit on, but there are a couple of things, as a lot of people have brought up. There were some stuff that happened in the past week of gaming that I do want to speak my piece on, mainly related to the fallout after the PlayStation Showcase. And I'm going to be giving y'all a quick little rundown of my thoughts on the showcase, considering some of you guys weren't here for the stream, but a lot of y'all I've noticed by the analytics you did watch the playback, so I really do appreciate that. But, you know, we can have another refresher course, if you will, for those who saw the stream last week, basically expelled it from their mind. Now you get to get reminded of that. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to all the super chats from the people who've been chiming in as we've gotten through the stream. The first one, $4.99, coming in from the homie Long Live Kevin Samuels. Yes, sir. I messed up, bro. I got drunk and bought Gollum, and it's a 2-pack of ass. You see, kids, this is why there's no hope in dope. This is why you should know your limits when it comes to drinking, because then you go and you buy things like Lord of the Rings Gollum, which... you gotta explain this shit, bro. Like, how do you do that? How do you hover over the game knowing everything about that title? Everything, all the reviews, all the footage, all that stuff, and think, yeah, proceed to purchase. Like, I need the whole backstory behind this, bro, because that's very, very questionable. Unless maybe you're using the alcohol as a crutch, and you actually did want to play Lord of the Rings Gollum, but you didn't want to come off as a person who actually wanted to play Lord of the Rings Gollum. Either way, my brother, you got to explain that to us. We have a $10 super chat coming in from Zero. Hey, Neo, I've been a viewer since 2012, and I love the Q&As. Oh, thank you so much, my brother, sister, or everything in between. I appreciate the support. What are your thoughts on Fire Emblem Engage? It's become one of my favorite Fire Emblem games because of the gameplay, but I have seen lots of hate for it online. Oh, yeah, so here's the thing. I haven't put that much time into Fire Emblem Engage. I played through a little bit of it, got a couple of hours into the game, and then I got pulled away into Hogwarts Legacy. So I'm only a couple of chapters into it, but from what I've played in terms of like my impressions, I'm really digging the gameplay. Like, the gameplay is the sole selling point for me. Everything else surrounding the story or the characters, I'm not as engaged with, but like I said, only a couple of hours in, my opinions can change. But in terms of dragging me into the experience, like, let's take recent Fire Emblem games, for example. Let's take Awakening, let's take Three Houses. Those games drew me into the experience, and it kept me attached a hell of a lot more than Engage. Maybe that's just a testament to the storytelling and the characters in those games being more compelling than Engage. But at the end of the day, one of the main reasons or focal points why I love Fire Emblem is the gameplay, and Engage is really good at that. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. Like, basically, once I get my fill of Zelda, and once I finish up Jedi Survivor, I'm going to go back and finish the rest of the games that I bought this year that I'm either close to completion or, you know, I'm like almost halfway through. But yeah, I've seen a lot of hate from it online. I mean, we have one person in here, Black Bond, who didn't like the game at all. What I think he called it like Fire Emblem mid-gauge on one of the streams, and he's probably going to type it down below. But yeah, you know, some people like it, some people hate it. I'm that type of person where, you know, if the gameplay is solid and gameplay is there for a Fire Emblem title, I'm a supporter no matter what. The only time I really didn't fuck with what they had going on with Fire Emblem was when they started doing like the 3 different versions on the 3DS. I was just like, all right, y'all doing too much. This is Fire Emblem. This ain't Pokemon. But yeah, you know, I still went out there, still bought the game, got the really nice Divine Edition. You know, it's just what we do. And also the Switch. I got the Divine Edition for this game and the Seasons of Warfare Edition for Three Houses. Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, mainline Persona games, there's just one of those things where I'm just gonna buy it and support it just because there was a time where we weren't gonna get some of these games. Like anyone who's a Tales fan, I know I'm just I'm long-winded, you guys know this by now. Anybody who's a Tales fan, y'all remember how there was a time where we didn't know if we were going to get any more Tales games. Circa like the early 2010s, like the last major Tales game we got was Vesperia, and that was in 2008. And we spent like 4 long years wondering, are we going to get any more of the newer games? Like Japan has this stuff announced. Are we going to get anything? And then they were like, all right, you know what? We'll throw y'all a bone. We'll give you Tales of Grace's F. And that game came out. We bought it, supported it. Then we got Exilia 1, Exilia 2, and then, you know, as they say, history. Boom. Right there. What the hell? Message deleted by Black Bond. Bond, don't be out here deleting people's messages. Don't be doing that shit, Bond. Don't make me take away your mod powers. You can get in disagreements with people, but don't be deleting people's messages unless they say some wild shit. But yeah, I'll catch up on that in a second once I get to the super chats. Bond, Zero. I apologize on behalf of this dude, Black Bond. You can't be Bond, nah, fam. Nah, how do we reverse Zero's timeout? Bond, you can't be doing that shit to people, bro. Come on now. Bond out here censoring people like Sony be censoring games. Oh, he said it was the best to him. Listen, Bond, there's some people out here. There's some people out there who like different shit, man. Let it live, man. I said 30-second timeout. But yeah, Zero. Outside of that, I'm sorry about that, bro. Appreciate the super chat. And yeah, this was your first super chat, which is awesome. Then we got Flame, who's been a member for the past 17 months of the Phantom Weirdo tier. Thank you, my brother. Neo, I need you to not hype the Xbox showcase. They can't suffer like that Jim Ryan musical number. Anyway, hope you're good, brother, but we dragging you. Okay, so let me bring this up to y'all, right? And we're not gonna get into the PlayStation showcase topic, but for some reason, this dude Flame, right? He watched my Ask Neo video, which was recorded the night before the showcase. He watched that video, and this man thought that I was saying that this is going to be a top 10 showcase. They're going to do this, acquisition, that, everything. All I did was humor the idea of these things. I did not, in any way, shape, or form, say that all this stuff is going to happen. I took my predictions, and I'm like, maybe this will happen. But this man, Flame, is saying I'm responsible for that bad showcase. How does that even make sense? In what world does that make sense, Flame? But, yeah, you know, that Xbox showcase, listen, it's an easy layup, Microsoft. It's an easy layup, but knowing Microsoft, like someone in the chat said, if there's a way to fumble a bag, they will find it. That much is certain. We got $2 super chat coming in from Timur. Hope you're doing well, man. Love your vids. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, my brother. And yeah, shit is going smooth over here. Things have been great, y'all. Little bit of a life update. You know, had a really, really awesome time. Memorial Day weekend, bro. I spent it with my homie Angel, who's here in the chat. Invited me over to his family barbecue. It was me, the girlfriend, and just like all good types of vibes, man. It was fucking lit. It was lit. And then after the barbecue, my girlfriend wanted to see the Little Mermaid movie, so we watched that. And listen, it's certainly one of the movies of all time that you can see in the theater. But in all seriousness, I mean, you guys know I don't fuck with the Disney live action movies. I think the majority of them are ass. But Little Mermaid actually felt like they had effort in it. Is it great? No, it's not. If you've seen a Little Mermaid animated movie, you're gonna watch this and be like, okay, they did that. I remember this. I remember that. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Like, none of these Disney live action movies are like legitimately good at what they are supposed to do. It's just reaping off your nostalgia. That's all it is. some good aspects of the movie. Haley Bailey, I believe that's what her name is. She was phenomenal as Ariel. Like, her acting, her singing, everything that you needed an actor to pull from in terms of Ariel, she did that and then some. So she was fantastic. It's just a shame that everything else surrounding her wasn't as well crafted as her singing. Like, the CGI of everything happening underwater. I mean, yes, Avatar is a very, very high bar to clear, but at the same time, the bar has been risen. Like, come on now. It can't be looking like this, man. Everything just looks so fucking awkward. But yeah, like, outside of the wonky CGI, the performances were good. Like, she was good. I thought Melissa McCarthy as Ursula was good. You know, the new renditions of the songs were great. The new songs they put in, one of them was cool. That shit with Awkwafina, though, let's just not. You know what the funny thing is? I was one of the OG stans of Awkwafina. Like, I've loved Awkwafina pretty much since she first came on the scene. And then it's just like she just does these things and she picks these roles where it's like, honey, why are you doing that? And that rap that they did, I was just like, Lin-Manuel Miranda, you will pay for your crimes against humanity. But yeah, the Little Mermaid movie, I mean, if you need to see a Disney live action movie, or if your girl wants to see it, or if your kids want to see it, which at the end of the day, that's who these movies are for. I'm not saying that's an excuse for the movie to not be great, but it's less offensive. Like I say, I rate it like I rate the Super Mario Brothers movie. The Mario Brothers movie was not a great animated movie in terms of like, yo, this is like top tier Pixar, Finding Nemo, Incredibles, Monsters Inc. type of movie. But at the same time, its job was to not suck and appeal to the demographic. And in that sense, it's fine. It's fine. You know, that should be my new rating. It's fine. It's fine. It's not great. It's, you know, I'm not going to walk out of there gritting to ear, but I'm not going to be like, yo, fuck this shit. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It exists. It's fine. It's fine. $2 coming in from Don the Otaku. This upcoming showcase will be Xbox's E3 of Dreams. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. $2 coming in from Valkyrie24. Don't drink and buy games. Yeah. You know, the last time I ended up buying a bunch of Disgaea games. I remember I got drunk, I think in 2014, and I just bought a whole bunch of Disgaea games digital. I think I bought Disgaea. No, you know what it was? I bought Disgaea 3 on GameStop because it was like $17. And this is when they were doing all the clearance for Vita games. So I got Disgaea 3 on the Vita for like $17. And I think that was a very good deal, actually. I just have all these fucking random Disgaea games in my room. I have Disgaea 3 on the Vita, Disgaea 4 on the PS3, Disgaea D2, Disgaea 5 on the PS5, no, on the PS4 and the Switch. And then I think I stopped after that because it's just like, what are you doing, bro? $2 from Don Otaku. I will temper nothing. Yeah, so it looks like we got to go ahead and make the Xbox showcase our first major topic. We have $5 coming in from Artsy Avanti. Yo, Neo, I'm finally getting around to finishing Xenoblade Chronicles after 3 years. It's been quite the journey, and I'm loving every minute of it. Oh, man. To be able to play the first Xenoblade for the first time, dude. Listen, I know some of y'all are OGs. Black Bond knows this because he was there in the beginning. Operation Rainfall, Xenoblade Chronicles, our mission back in 2011 to get that game localized. And pre-ordering the game at GameStop, because you can only buy it at GameStop, getting that game, pulling out that dusty old Wii, playing that shit, and you're just like, the bar's been fucking raised, bro. The OG Xenoblade Chronicles is still one of my favorite. Like, it is one of my favorite games, but it's one of my favorite experiences playing a game, just because of everything surrounding it and what we had to do to get it. And it didn't disappoint, man. And then going into the whole franchise from Xenoblade 1 to 2, to Torna Golden Country, and Xenoblade 3. It's fucking awesome, man. Like, Xenoblade is one of the best RPG series. And then Bon will say, yeah, Xenoblade is pretty good, but it's not legendary. Oh, shit, Tony. What's going on, Tony? We got the Adventures of New Yokio in the chat. What's up, my brother? Oh, Tony, I saw you dropped some new heat on the timeline. Tony's been killing it when it comes to video production recently. And he dropped his top 100 games video. So if y'all want to check out a list of the top 100 games by the homie New Yokio, definitely go check that out. I'm gonna watch that later tonight, Tony. Let's see who else. And Bond is just arguing with people. Jesus Christ. That's Bond. $5 from Kid Stupefy. That new Street Fighter game is looking hella nice. Redemption arc? Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, for those asking, I'm not gonna pick up Street Fighter 6. I'm not the biggest fighting gamer. I'm that type of fighting gamer where it's like, I'll pick up one brand new fighting game once every 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like buying a day one and playing it. The last time I did that was for Mortal Kombat on the PS3. And that was like what, 2011? Right? So that was the last time I bought a new fighting game, around week 1, month 1, month 2, something like that. So I bought that game, and then ever since then, every time I get something, whether it's Dragon Ball Fighters or Tekken or whatever, I always get it when it's on sale. Like I bought Street Fighter 5, I think when it was $30 a few months after it came out. So yeah, everything I just get cheap, because fighting games for me are they're like the party games where I get together with a bunch of my friends who also don't know how to play fighting games, and we just have fun. We dick around, and then unfortunately, you have someone in the group who's a fucking pro, and he just uses y'all as practice. Like that's how it was with fighters. So me and my boy Joaquin, Excessive Warlock, every now and then we all get together. It's me, him, and Jamal. We play fighters like once in a blue moon, and then we all get our asses kicked by him. I'll maybe get like one of his characters out, and then boom, that's it. So yeah, I know if I spent the time and I was in the lab, as all the cool kids say, I could have fun with them. But to me, it's just one of those genres I'm just not into. It's just fun stuff. It's just fun stuff for me. But I do know what to do more than butt mashing. So don't confuse me for one of these other people out there. Like I've definitely played some games and learned some combos, if you will. I know the frame data. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 is looking like, so fighting games were really the last bastion for the Capcom Redemption arc, right? If we looked at the tiers of things that have come back, Monster Hunter has always been consistent, but now Monster Hunter is on consoles, right? You have Monster Hunter pumping out great games. Monster Hunter World, it's DLC. Monster Hunter Rise, it's DLC. Phenomenal. Resident Evil, its entire renaissance, the entirety of that brand has come back. Started with 7, then we got Village, then we got the Resident Evil 2 remake, we got the 3 remake, we got the 4 remake. Like everything is just good for this franchise. And then some of the other things they've put out there. Devil May Cry 5, phenomenal game. We got Dragon's Dogma 2 coming out. Cannot wait for that. So they're doing pretty good so far. And every now and then we do have some blunders. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the games they put out don't look that great, but they might be good. I'm looking at UXO Primal. I really hope that game is good. But just looking at games as a service as a whole, how often do these games really last that long? Not really. But I'm willing to be surprised. If that game is fire and there's people playing it a year, 2 years after launch, absolutely go for it. But yeah, fighting games have always been that last piece of the puzzle that Capcom hasn't nailed. We saw what happened with Street Fighter 5 and its handling. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, yeah, sure, it was a better game than MVC3, but look, they launched both those in the same year. It's like, wow, so you could have just done this as DLC. And then you had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which we're not going to rehash. But so far, they're making all the right calls with Street Fighter 6, and everybody is liking it, which is good, because if these games are great, that's good for the industry as a whole. And if Street Fighter 6 is awesome, if Mortal Kombat 1 is awesome, and the new Tekken is awesome, then we all win. It's awesome. It's great. It sucks for Dino Crisis fans because we ain't get shit. But hey, listen, if the rest of y'all can be happy, I'm fine with that. Let's see. And then we got a super chat coming in from Colin, my boy, who's been a member for the past 34 months of the Next Hokage tier. My brother, as always, thank you so much for your support. Colin says, hey, Chris, how are you tonight, man? I'm doing good now that I've seen you, my brother. And now that I've seen all of y'all, shout out to everyone who's been joining in between. I see y'all. Don't let it go unnoticed. I do see you. I hear you too. I'm about halfway through Persona 5 Royal, and I am loving every second of it. See, look at all the Persona love today. Persona love, Yakuza love. You just love to see it. Playing through it again reminds me of why I fell in love with the Megami Tensei franchise in the first place. Yeah, it's crazy that even though Persona has become its own thing, it did start off as a spin-off of the SMT franchise. And I'm just happy that now that Persona has become such an accessible franchise, people can play these games and love them. Even if they're replaying it like their third, fourth, or fifth time, it's so awesome because I remember one of my friends was like, yeah, I played it when it came out on the PS5 and, now I'm replaying it on the Switch. I think, Jason, that's what you were doing. And there's some people who played it all the way on PlayStation. One of my friends, he started with Persona 5 on the PS3. the PS3, bought himself a PS4, played through Royal. Now he's got a PS5, and now he's going through Royal for 60 frames. It's fucking dope. So yeah, man. Anytime I could see Persona love, it's awesome. You know, I can't wait to see what will go down with this rumored Persona 3 remake, because if that game has the same love and attention put into it as Persona 5 Royal, if that game is this full from the ground up remake and it takes the best parts of the PSP version and the PS2 versions and meld it into one game, we've got serious Game of the Year level. Like, so much good shit can come from a proper Persona 3 remake. I cannot wait for it. But yeah, man. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a swig of this water, because it is time for us to get into our first not topic of the show. But before we dive into that, if y'all could do me a favor and hit that like button, because it helps out the channel tremendously. And if you guys are following me on Twitter, go ahead and retweet and share the tweet that I put up. It helps bring a lot of people into this little family of ours. But yeah, let's get into our first not topic of the show. This is going to be kind of a follow-up to the PlayStation Showcase. As y'all know, a week ago, PlayStation had its very first showcase. Not State of Play, not random developer showcase focused on one game. Their first State of Play in about 18 months, right? And there was a lot of, dare I say, hype for the showcase, because, you know, it's been a while since PlayStation has shown anything. You know, we've gotten these State of Plays, which are okay for what they are, but if you're talking about the main meat and potatoes of why somebody is a PlayStation gamer, I'm not talking about a gamer itself, or you're a fan of third-party games, you're a fan of indies, you're a fan of this. I'm talking about why people tune into a PlayStation showcase versus a Summer Games Fest versus the Game Awards versus Capcom highlights or whatever. They're tuning in for PlayStation first-party support. That is what we needed to see, because up until that point, we knew literally nothing about what they got cooking. We know we have a lot of developers, and these developers have multiple teams, but we haven't heard anything about what's coming next. So logic would dictate that this showcase would be the one to show us, you know, blow our socks off, like give us a glimpse into the future, because it was looking kind of spooky. Outside of Spider-Man 2, the only two games that we knew were coming for PlayStation were Wolverine from Insomniac, again, one of the studios that's been carrying PlayStation this gen, and The Last of Us Factions 2, which, if you want to get technical, we knew this game existed, back in 2016? And then they announced in 2019 that Factions will be shipping after the game. We've been waiting a long time to see it. And this showcase, we didn't get any of that. We did not see any of that. Did we get some game announcements? Absolutely. Did we get some glimpses into games we're looking forward to? Sure. But in terms of what we had showed up for a showcase, it was terrible. It was ass. It was just like, what the fuck, bro? And there's been a lot of discourse since then. Of course, it's the usual, oh, y'all get your expectations up way too high for these showcases. Expect mediocrity and you'll be okay. And that's usually what I say. Don't go into these expectations expecting, you know, pants with pockets and the next best thing since sliced bread, because you're not going to get that. But I will say this much. People say those things for showcases that happen very regularly. I'm talking like if Nintendo has a showcase or a direct every other month or something, that's something you would say to the person. Because if they have a fire-ass direct and if they have an Indie World direct that's whatever, it's okay, you know? Averages and everything. But when you don't have a showcase for almost 2 years, and then you pull up and you show that, and you give us a damn Gran Turismo trailer, like, I got a question. Who the fuck is steering this ship? Because it seems very, very tone deaf for them to put out a showcase of that caliber. Now, if this was, let's say, split up into 4 different State of Plays throughout the past 18 months, oh, that'd be fine, bro. That would be okay, and I don't think anybody would have any issues, right? But when you bring us a showcase and you make sure it's known as a showcase and not a State of Play, you set the expectations. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about this. PlayStation has always been very, especially this generation, very, very cocky about how they do things. Oh, no. You don't control the narrative. We control the narrative, and we tell you when to get excited for stuff. That's what they've been operating at. And it's worked very well for them. It's worked good so far. But now it's gotten to a point where they're just too cocky with that shit. Where they show up with the showcase and they think that showing off CGI trailers for first-party stuff is the way to go for games that we know at this point are not coming out for bare minimum 2-3 years. You pull up and all your first-party showcases, with the exception of Spider-Man 2, are showcasing CGI trailers that don't give us... I don't care what people say. We can assume that this game is going to play like this or this game is going to play like that. But unless you're showing me tangible gameplay and tangible button inputs, I don't know what the fuck these games are. I really don't. You could sell all these things to me in the press releases, but no, it's not. I need the fucking gameplay. And they didn't deliver on that at all. None. There was one game, Concord, which is coming from what? Fire whatever studio. They showed a CGI trailer, and the best thing you could say is that they had a burger that had jiggle physics. And I'm like, wow, this is what we pulling up for. Now, to switch gears and talk about some more positive things, you know, some of the indie games they showcased looked cool, and even some stuff that I would play. But you can't show up to a showcase with all that stuff and think it's okay. And then the stuff we're supposed to get excited about, you over here and saying shit like, oh yeah, it's not coming out for like another year, maybe 2 years, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, it sounds fucked up. But this was PlayStation's version of an Xbox showcase. The things that we always joke about with Xbox, where it's like, oh yeah, they'll have a showcase and it's an hour long, but it's just a lot of games that, let's be real, they look like they might be 68 on Metacritic yellow box and everything. I'm not saying that they will be, but that's just kind of the mantra we've seen with a lot of the Xbox showcases as of late. And the big games that they show off, all CGI trailers, no actual gameplay footage. That's what we got with this PlayStation showcase, and it's disappointing. It's extremely disappointing. And a lot of people have come out here and said shit like, oh, hey, listen, well, they might have other showcases later. They might be holding back for the Summer Games Fest. They might be holding back for another PlayStation showcase. It's like, really? This is what we were talking about with Xbox and why that shit is not okay. You got to get ahead of the messaging, and you got to... Like, I refuse to believe people at Xbox and PlayStation don't see what's happening out here. I really don't, man. I really don't. So, yeah, the PlayStation Showcase was not good at all. Period, point blank. If it was supposed to get me excited about owning a PS5, it didn't do that. The stuff that got me excited about owning a PS5 is the exact same shit I'd known about for years, like Spider-Man 2. I'm just as excited for Spider-Man 2 as I was when they first announced it a year and a half ago. Nothing about that gameplay is going to deter me. Sure, it made me more excited because the game's come out in a few months, but not like, oh, I'm so happy I got a PS5. None of that shit, man. None of that shit. And so since the showcase, we've learned a couple of things. Like, we got updates from Konami that the Metal Gear Solid 3 or the Metal Gear Delta remake that they're doing, apparently it's going to be a very faithful remake. Now, what that means remains to be seen. They say it's going to retain all the original voice acting recordings, so it looks like they're not going to go back and re-record new stuff. Kojima is not going to be involved with the project as expected, given his fractured history of Konami. And they still haven't revealed who's developing the game. We have some speculations, but they haven't said anything about it. So the jury is still out on whether or not this remake will be good. They didn't show gameplay for it, which is kind of suspect about when this is coming out. But yeah, you know, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is a very important game for a lot of Metal Gear fans. And me, myself, and I, while I'm not a big Metal Gear fan, I've played through all of Metal Gear Rising. I've played through bits and pieces of Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Solid 4 was actually my first Metal Gear game because when I got a PS3, everyone said, oh, buy Metal Gear Solid 4. It's one of the best games alongside Uncharted 2. And I was like, okay. And I bought it and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. So yeah, you know, I really hope this game is great for a lot of people, but we'll see what happens. You know, Metal Gear remake without Kojima involved, and the quality of this remake, if you will, we'll see what happens. But yeah, before we dive further into this, we have a couple of super chats coming in. Appreciate you guys. We have $4.99 coming in from Julian Phoenix. Did you see the symbiote suit controversy on Twitter? Yeah, so a lot of people are not a fan of how Insomniac's take on the symbiote. And honestly, I think it looks pretty cool. The thing about the symbiote suit is, in a lot of medias outside the comics, it was literally just a recolored suit. So like Spider-Man 3 is the most famous example. They just took the suit and made it black and silver. Period, point blank. That's it. Whereas you look at the symbiote suit in different mediums, they always have a little bit of flair attached to it. And in Insomniac's version, you know, it's still a really black suit, but you can tell that, oh, this thing is foreign, this thing is alien, it's actually moving. If you watch the Spider-Man footage in 4K, which I do recommend you guys do, that suit is alive. It is moving alongside the character, which I think looks friggin' awesome. Insomniac's attention to detail is insane. So I don't have an issue with it. One thing I've noticed, and this might just be me looking into something that's not there. If you look at the symbiote's eyes, like Peter Parker's Spider-Man suit, the eyes fluctuate from the beginning of the trailer until we see it in the end of the trailer. Now, I don't know if that's because the suit itself is just getting, as Peter gets more enraged, the symbiote starts taking more and more control, so it starts looking more like a Venom suit versus a black suit symbiote Spider-Man. I'm not entirely sure, but it looked friggin' awesome, and I cannot wait. Like, I've already been theorizing and speculating with some of my friends about the story of the game, and I'm excited for it, man. Them saying fall leads me to believe that this won't be a September title. At the very earliest, it might be end of September, but realistically, it's looking like it might be November, similar to God of War Ragnarok. And honestly, they don't have any other big games coming out this year, so why not make it a November title? Like, I think out of all the games coming out, Spider-Man is really the only one that can compare and compete with, like, a juggernaut as in Call of Duty. But from what I've been hearing, Call of Duty this year might not be a full-blown entry. Like, they haven't even started any of the marketing. Like, according to some people, didn't they say, like, they're turning, like, a DLC into a full game or something like that? But regardless, people are going to complain about it. People say it doesn't look as good as it should, blah, blah, blah. But the thing about Insomniac is their work speaks for itself. So when the game comes out, like Spider-Man 2018 and like Ratchet & Clank, people will be shut up. $2 super chat coming in from Brosy. PlayStation had one mess show and y'all acting like they Xbox, LMAO. Nah, but that's the thing, bro. PlayStation been getting cocky. They think they too good for showcases, my guy. They think they too good for showcases, and the first showcase they give us in almost 2 years was that. That's the issue. People aren't saying that it's all doom and gloom. You're going to sell your PlayStation and buy an Xbox. No one is saying that, but it's kind of disappointing where you're making it all about the quality in this, and we let the games do the talking, and you got no games to really show why people should buy a PS5. Like, nothing they showed off at all. And I understand, you know, COVID pushed back the development pipeline of games, and these devs, you know, it's taking them longer to put out these titles. But I feel like we've gotten to a point now where they could have at least shown something tangible. Like, all of their studios, they don't have anything tangible to show. At the very least, like, I don't know. Oh, hey, Mav, what's going on, bro? We got Mav coming in from Fun Speculation. We got $4.99 coming in from Blue Senshi. What's up, Chris? How you doing? Nintendo did me dirty by taking out all of the duplication glitches in Tears of the Kingdom. I'm almost done with the story. Yeah, so for those who have not played Breath of the Wild's DLC, Tears of the Kingdom. For those who haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo recently patched out the duplication glitch, which honestly I had no idea that thing was patched out until the patch was already out. Like, I am enjoying my time with Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm not as obsessed with it compared to other people, which is all cool. That's great if you guys like that. But that just goes to show you that I had no idea people were doing this exploit. But yeah, man, I pour one out for the people who are a big fan of that glitch. I'm just going through the game and I'm just fucking around, you guys. Like, literally every single time I boot up Zelda, I have waypoints on the map to go do stuff, but then I just get sidetracked. And that's all the fun in it, man. Like, the fun of Zelda is that, like, you get sidetracked, and then you get sidetracked on your way to the sidetracking, and then that somehow brings you back to the objective at the end of the day. It's fucking dope, man. I love it. But I did take a little bit of a break from Zelda because I did want to start Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Rhino said Mabel is obsessed. Yeah, my girlfriend is fucking obsessed with this game. It is insane. I remember on one of her days off, all she did was just play through this game. She just sat in front of the TV for, I think, 6 hours straight and was playing it. And I was like, yes, those are big gamer moves right there. And now she just sent me like 14 text messages. What is going on? Yeah. I'm just telling her, hey, yo, I'm streaming. I'll reply to this shit later. But yeah, no, Zelda's fun. Jedi Survivor, I'm still very early in the game. I got off of Coruscant. I'm on the first world that you're exploring. And yeah, I'm just taking my time. Not really trying to 100% the map, but at the same time, just going through every nook and cranny. In terms of presentation, Jedi Survivor, outside of the performance issues, because those performance issues are pretty bad, it's great, man. Like, it is so fucking good. Like, it's extremely cinematic. They've definitely like upped their game on that front. Like, the cutscenes are phenomenal. Like, I already can tell this is going to be one of the best Star Wars stories. Like, there's just something I'm just seeing. But in terms of it being a sequel, like, Respawn knows. They understand the assignment. They know that, okay, so this is going to be a sequel to a game that had a skill tree and your character was maxed out. How are you going to approach that with the sequel? Are you going to take the God of War 2 route where he loses all his powers? And honestly, I hate when games do that because it is so annoying to have to relearn your abilities and respec your character. They don't do that. They just start the game. Listen, it takes place a couple years after this. Cal is still really powerful. He's got his abilities, but you know what? He's going to get even more abilities. So strap in, buckle the fuck up, and have fun. And I'm just like, there we go. That's how we do it, man. That's how we fucking do it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to go ahead and see where this story takes me. And it's good that I'm playing two different games, because while Jedi Survivor is still a bigger open world game, if you will, it's still more linear by comparison to something like Zelda, where there's just so many mysteries to explore. And honestly, that's perfect, because part of me, while I was waiting for Zelda, I did want to fire up Ghost of Tsushima and play through the Iki Island DLC. But the closer and closer I got to Zelda, I'm just like, I can't do that. I've got to play like completely opposite games to Zelda while I'm playing Zelda, because every single time I play that open world game, I'm going to think to myself, why can't you do this? Zelda can do it on that dusty ass hardware known as the Switch. 6 hours per session, but she can't finish Persona 5 Royal. That's wild. Yo, absolutely. Listen, my girlfriend, she just got home from work, so she might pop into the chat, and then we can give her that roast and the slander. But yeah, no, that is wild to me. But remember, she is a Zelda stan, so you knew this was going to happen. Like, literally, when we bought the game at the midnight launch, we were playing it, I think, until like 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, it was that it was that serious, guys. It was that serious. What's the okay, Black Dragon says, Neo, does Zelda need to have a better story and be more cinematic? J-Man thinks so, but Kofi doesn't. So I don't know, like, I want to see how they handle this, but the way Zelda tells its story, it's not structured like other contemporary modern games. It's definitely one of those stories where, yeah, you can beat the campaign, but you do still want to go ahead and do all the other side stuff because that helps tell the story. I'm not so sure, though. There are a lot of people who love the storytelling in Tears of the Kingdom. They say it's 10 times better versus Breath of the Wild. And then there's some other people who have finished it who are just like, oh, well, maybe they should have made Link more of a character than being a silent protagonist. Which, again, I think there's room for both discussions in that argument. But I don't have a say in it, considering I'm just fucking around on the map and not really caring about the story. But we'll see. Like, once I finish it. Artsy Avanti says, I will slander Zelda Tears at all costs. Oh shit. Holy fuck. Oh my god. But yeah, let me go ahead and since you guys have been asking about it, let's talk about the upcoming Xbox showcase. Now, this is not going to be my full-on predictions of it, because, like, let's be real, I don't do predictions like that, because, again, we set our hopes and expectations up too high. And if you're a company like Xbox, you get tired of the same song and dance pony show. But after this PlayStation showcase, I am ironically more excited to see what Xbox has got to offer, because there ain't no way in the world that this Xbox showcase can be worse than what PlayStation has got. Now, I am willing to be surprised, and given Microsoft's track record, I think that they are the guys to get it done in terms of putting on a worse showcase. But just based off of how light their previous showcases have been, like 2022 showcase was very light on the first party stuff. I think it's time, right? A lot of their games that they showed off at the 2020 showcase, I'm talking Fable, Avowed, all their collaborations, all of those things, Perfect Dark, which was announced a few months later, they've been cooking long enough where we can see gameplay. I don't assume any of those games are going to hit this year outside of Starfield and maybe, fingers crossed, Hellblade 2. If Starfield's September and then maybe Hellblade's like a November, December type of game, I could see that happening. But realistically, I see all their games being 2024 and 2025 the latest. I don't think that there's any game that they showcased in 2020 that doesn't hit by 2025 unless it's getting like a complete overhaul and a reboot or whatever. Which, based off what we've been hearing for some of the games, it might be. But I think the important type of thought process to have with this showcase is just set your expectations very low. And if they give you already know you're going to get Starfield Direct. Like, that's already happening. So you can take that out of the equation. But if we get good Fable gameplay in a release year, if we get good Avowed gameplay in a release year, I think we'll be okay. Now, there was something that the Xbox Twitter account was teasing for the showcase. There was this video that I'm getting a lot of PR emails right now. There was a video that showcased, like, from Xbox that had a lot of glitter and music in the background, and it seemed very fantasy based, magical. And there are people who did some digging and deep diving, and they're like, I think it might be Fable. The second I heard that music, I'm like, okay, this has got to be Fable. Ain't no way it could be that dusty ass Everwild game that's getting rebooted again. It's got to be Fable. It's time. Playground's been working on this shit for years, bro. It's time to see something. And I want that. I want Fable, bro. I want this game. I want to see what Playground does with it. Like, it's time, dude. Just give me, like, if I had to make a prediction list, obviously Starfield is there, but I think we see Fable. Obviously, we're going to see Forza Motorsport. I want to see Avowed. I want to see that. And I don't think that's too much to ask. We know Obsidian is working on a bunch of different things, but this one I feel like they would be further along in that. And you know what? For my wild card, I think we might see Indiana Jones. Now, this is just me saying that, okay, if they want to get brand synergy going because the movie comes out next month, what better way to be like, oh, hey, Indiana Jones movie? Well, here's this game that may or may not be better than the movie. But, dude, definitely, I want to see Avowed and I want to see Fable. Like, that's all. Honestly, when it comes to Xbox, like, yeah, I could get excited for Gears. I don't think anyone will ever get excited for Halo again. But RPGs coming from Team Xbox are something I do want to see. What are the chances that we see a Gears 6? Very plausible. Like, the last game they shipped was Gears 5, and that was 2019. They did the Hivebusters DLC, which was, probably a very small group. So, yeah, I mean, it's about time for us to see Gears 6 finish out that trilogy, or at the very least, see what else they're working on. They've been very quiet. Extremely quiet. And Coalition, whether or not you care about the quality of their Gears games versus Epic's Gears games, Coalition has been very consistent. They've put out a Gears game that most people enjoyed, and they put out another Gears game that most people enjoyed. Sure, folks take issue with the multiplayer, and, I wasn't the biggest fan of, like, Gears 4 story, but they're solid. They're solid. They're serviceable. They get the job done. They're not no top tier studios, but listen, you boot up one of their games, you know what you signed up for. It's not going to be terrible. It's not going to make you feel like, oh man, this is what gaming is all about, but it's good. It gets you, it fills you what you need. That's it. But yeah, Hivebusters was the reason why I love the Hivebusters DLC so much is that it brought me back to a time during the 360 era where we got really good expansion packs for stories where, this is only going to be like maybe 3 to 5 hours worth of story content. It's going to be a really low price, but it's going to be so polished and you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Like, I remember just buying the DLC for the Fallout games and just like these story expansions, like just the smaller stuff. Like, I love that shit. I miss that shit. Like, we got to bring back those like 5 to 10 hour DLC expansions. Like, they were awesome. I remember the last time we really got something like that was, with The Witcher. We got a lot of great Witcher 3 DLC. Nowadays, DLC is just like fucking bullshit, bro. Like, sometimes it's really good, and other times it's just fucking padding, like just to pad the hours on the account. But what's going on to all the people in here? We got Four Eyes Malone, we got CB That Guy, we got Apex Predator, we got Sora Life Story. What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing? But yeah, those are my, I guess, impressions of the showcase. Like, we can sit here and speculate on what all the other studios are doing. I just want to see games, bro. I want to see games. And I don't want to see Phil Spencer come out here and listen. I love Phil. I've got love for Phil. But I don't want to see him come out and say, we'll get it right next time. We need to do better. Like, Phil, come on, bro. Come on. Like, you guys already are in a bad situation with Redfall. Like, we can't hear that shit again. We can't do, like, set your expectations low type of shit. Like, no. We need games and proper gameplay. Good gameplay. Show me why we have these consoles. Like, these 12 teraflops of power that you guys said. Not us. You guys set the expectations with that. No more of this, like, games you can play within the next 12 months. Just show me shit I can play soon. Your nephew just puked on me. Oh, damn, because he heard us talking about Xbox? Oh, shit. Your son might be a pony, bro. Holy. That'd be the first pony in your household. Because everyone in your household is like Team Xbox, Team Nintendo. Even though you got a PS5. Redfall was more billion out of 10. Oh, that's a fact. Last thing I heard was the Coalition isn't making Gears. They're making some type of horror game with Gears gunplay. Hey, if that's something different, yeah, I'll take that. Because the last thing they want to be is pigeonholed as the Gears studio. Like, that's why I want to see studios like Playground do different shit. Like Guerrilla, we did Killzone and we did Horizon. Like, do different shit, have fun. And I think if there's any studio at Xbox that can really show off what Unreal Engine 5 is capable of, it's gonna be the Coalition. But yeah, I'm hoping the Xbox showcase is great because I just need one of these showcases to hit, man. I just need something quality, bro, and I need some bangers. I need some like mic drop moments. I need some aggressive energy because if this Activision Blizzard deal is gonna keep getting pushed, it's gonna keep getting pushed back. You got to come with some heat, bro. And I don't want to see no lackluster showcase because you're trying to get this deal to close. Like, I don't like, some people said, oh, they're not playing checkers, they're playing chess. Well, what the fuck happens with when all your rookies and all your pawns and all your people who play the game just say, no, I ain't doing that anymore? Like, come on now. $1.99 for Blue Senshi. Xbox is the world's best doorstop. Well, honestly, the Xbox Series X and S are just so compact in their design. They're like balls of energy in a square. And they're very sturdy and reliable. So you could put those up against doors and be just fine. So yeah, you are right with that. PlayStation is a behemoth, but at the same time, if you don't angle it right, it could tip over. Xbox, despite what stance you put it in, it stays consistent. Now, if only it's consistent with its Game Pass output, that's all I'm saying. Would an Xbox benefit from a weaker showcase because the deal going through? Yeah, Cypher, that's what a lot of people have been speculating. Like, oh, the reason why they're so quiet is because they want to get the deal to go through. But the deal just got pushed back again. So it's like, how long are we going to do this? At this point, this deal might not be closed until what? Fucking, if you're lucky next year, if you're lucky or unlucky 2025 or 2026, at that point, we're more than halfway through the generation. And who wins at that point? Like, these games got to come out from Xbox. They can't, okay. If they just show single player stuff, I think they're fine. Anything that's a big multiplayer, they might be fucked. But let's be real, Xbox does not even got the quality to compete on, if we're talking like user numbers or all the things and the metrics that people use, like Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo. If we're talking about exclusives, PlayStation is closer to Nintendo in terms of having exclusives that sell into the tens and the 20 millions. When was the last time Xbox reported sales numbers for like anything? Like, I know they're all about engagement, but best believe if Halo Infinite sold 20 million digital downloads or physical copies, absolutely they would report that. But they don't, because their games aren't really selling. And I know people say, well, that's what happens when you have Game Pass. It becomes all about the metrics. To an extent, that is true. But there really hasn't been anything on Game Pass that's warranted people to be like, fuck, I want to plop the money down for all this stuff. And if the games were there and they were selling and they were posting numbers, then yeah, they would report that. I guarantee you that at some point in its lifetime, they're going to report sales data for Starfield. Even though it's on Game Pass, it's still going to sell to regular Xbox consumers and people who buy the game via Steam. Engagement is meaningless. You can't put money on eyeballs. True. That's right, Mexican Zoidburg. Engagement is only meaningful to the people who are interested in funding shit. Like if Netflix comes out and they look at engagement numbers and blah, 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 they're doing that for their shareholders and their investors and everything. Not for people like us. It's to get other people involved. When they say like they're like what Stranger Things, more than 50 million hours of it have been watched in like the first couple of weeks. Like, what does that mean? What does that honestly mean? How is that good for me? How the fuck is that good there for me? I love my Series S, but when I get my PS5, I see it catching dust and me just sticking to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Xbox has to make a compelling case to be a really good primary and secondary system, because for a lot of people out there, Xbox is becoming, or it's become, a secondary machine where you can't really rely on that to be your primary for exclusives. PlayStation, like regardless of what people say, PlayStation will always be a primary machine to more people out there versus Xbox. Nintendo, some people can get away with Nintendo being their primary system depending on the type of games they play. If you're not into the vast majority of third-party releases, then you could be okay with a Nintendo console if you love playing Nintendo exclusives, if you love playing indie games, if you love the one-off third-party game that comes to your system, or a Japanese RPG that comes to your system. But Xbox has gotten to the point where you either grew up with Xbox or all your friends have Xbox. There isn't anything that's keeping people attached to the Xbox brand, which kind of sucks, because this generation could have been the gen that turns things around in their favor, but they just have not been consistent with the game output. You know, it's like for every Forza Horizon 5 they drop, you have a Halo Infinite, which starts out okay, but then the engagement keeps dropping and dropping, and it's like, oh, check back in a year or two and maybe the multiplayer will be robust. Like, Xbox doesn't have that blind faith, and that's what really pains me. But we'll see. If all they need is a solid 2 years of quality releases, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Fable, Avowed, Hellblade, like all those games have to hit, all of them. You can't have another Redfall. You absolutely cannot have another Redfall. 10 million players don't matter if 9 million quit after the first 15 minutes. Yeah. How many people boot up a game does not matter. How many people stay engaged. How many people support the game. Which, to give credit where credit is due, Sea of Thieves had a great comeback story, and a lot of people love playing Sea of Thieves. But should that always be the metric we rate these games? Like, I'm sorry, like, not everything can be a Destiny or a Sea of Thieves where eventually they get good. And you're asking people a lot. You're asking for more time for people. And in some cases, you're asking for more money for people, because some of these games don't start off as free to play. And I'm just not the type of consumer they're looking for, where if, like, let's say, for example, the next State of Decay comes out, I'd be interested in jumping into State of Decay with everybody at launch as a new game. But if you're telling me that this State of Decay is going to launch and it's like, we're just going to update it over time over the next couple of years, and yeah, that's not me, man. Oh, take care, Flame. Have a good one, bro. Yeah, Black Dragon, that's the thing. Like, for a lot of people out there, if you love third-party launches, you can't just have a Switch. You got to at least have a PC. But what I'm saying is that for some people out there who aren't into those games, feasibly, they could just have a Switch and be fine. I've seen a lot of people out there who just don't care about that stuff, which is very strange to me, because it's like, wow, you're missing the next Resident Evil. You're missing, you know, all these games that don't have cloud versions, which is still very weird that they still put out cloud versions of games on Switch. I can never do that. I can never spend money to own just a cloud version of something, and I'll never have the option to physically download it. That's crazy. What's up, NV Dub? But yeah, that's basically all I have to say as far as the Microsoft showcase is concerned. I want it to be good, and I think deep down it's going to be at least better than PlayStation. But the PlayStation showcase is already like, what? For me, I rated that shit like, what? A 3 out of 10. So if the Xbox showcase, even if the Xbox showcase is like a 6 out of 10, it's fine. I'll take it. I just want Starfield to... Okay, Starfield has got to have us be like, yo, that looks fucking fire. Because that first showcase, what they showed off, I wasn't that impressed. I need this game to just, like, literally, I got to be there like, fuck. This is what that man Todd Howard be talking about. What about you guys? Because I know we have a lot of people in here who are diehard Xbox fans. We got some people in here who are, people who just would never touch an Xbox. Some people who are like, oh, I'm interested, but I need to see what they show. What would it take? Being realistic. Let's be realistic here. What would it take for you guys, if you are a current Xbox fan, to get happy and stay engaged with a brand? If you're someone who's never owned an Xbox, what would it take for you to buy an Xbox? I'm really curious. And this is for people who are listening and those who are watching on the playback. Feel free to comment down below. Neo, how would you rank the main party members in each Xenoblade game? Oh, that is tough. If I was basic, I'd say Shulk at the top and everybody else is different. Okay, so for what are we ranking? Are we talking about in terms of their characters as a whole, their effectiveness in battle? Because when you start getting into the minutia of how they are as party members, it can be pretty deep and complex. But if we're talking about in terms of likability and story aspects, as far as I would still say, okay, you know what? I have to replay Xenoblade 1 again to see if Shulk is still at the top for me. But Shulk, if we're talking the main leaders of the 3 Xenoblade games, I still would say Shulk is at the top. But Noah is right there with him because just the story in that game is so good. And then there's a bunch of other people who, would be a main character in an RPG. And then you got Rex at the bottom. I don't hate Rex. I don't hate Rex at all. But he's just Rex. He just gives off that typical generic shonen protagonist, and I'm tired of that shit in this stage of my life. So yeah, Rex is at the very bottom. I just picked up a PS5. I rocked with Xbox these last 2 gens. Plan on getting a Series S as a Game Pass box eventually, but not in a rush. Wow, that's interesting. Because you had Xbox for 2 gens, and now you switched to a PlayStation. I will say this though, Reed, don't get a Series S. Because if you are going to get a Series S, and unless that thing is free, you're better off saving some money and getting a Series X, just because you're going to play the games at the best settings possible. The Series S is a dope Game Pass machine if you don't care. But if you're talking about power, and if you're talking about playing games at 60 to 120 and playing games at 1440p to dynamic 4K, just pony up the extra bucks and get the Series X. Don't lie, Neo, you cried in that one scene in Chapter 5. Oh, I didn't cry, but I was distraught, bro. I was like, fuck. It took me out, man. $5 from Don Otaku. Neo, these games have to be great at launch. Also, Neo, these games got to come out today. Well, yes, the games have to be great at launch, but I need something that I can play within the near future. That's honest. That's honestly Xbox. The last time I played a good Xbox exclusive that wasn't Hi-Fi Rush, a good Xbox exclusive. It's been a while, bro. It's been a while. Yeah, the last time there was an influx of people excited about Xbox was the 2021 showcase. The 6-in-6 plan they had going on. Every month there was a big Game Pass drop. That was genius. What happened to that Xbox, man? I don't get it. You can't relate anymore, Chris. You too old. Oh, man, really? That's what it's come to. That's what it's come to. Let's start. I built a PC. I got rid of my PS5 because I'd rather just wait for a better PC version. So the thing is, if you have a PC, honestly, the only reason you would get a console is if it's a Nintendo title, that shit's not coming to PC legally. And if it's PlayStation, it's well, you're gonna wait probably at least 2 years. But that's the thing about PlayStation developers. They give you a reason to buy their consoles at launch, at least historically, right? Xbox, now that everything is on PC, as a PC gamer, you don't really have a need to have an Xbox console unless you are one of the folks who are just I just want to put this under my TV and play a game. And if there's cross play and cross save, everything lines up with your PC life. So, yeah. Why do people act like Hi-Fi Rush is a AAA banger? That's what I want to know, bro. So here's the thing. I think a lot of people, especially after Redfall, a lot of people are now coming to terms with that. Hi-Fi Rush is a great game, but it's not this thing that people were expecting it to be, nor should the game have to have had those responsibilities put on its shoulders. Like Hi-Fi Rush is dope, but it's a small little passion project. It's great. That's like sprinkles and icing on the cake. But it's so funny when I saw some people still to this day saying like, oh, y'all hating on Xbox and Redfall, acting like we didn't just get Hi-Fi Rush. That's the equivalent of, let's say Nintendo puts out Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and the game is ass and they hadn't put out any other game this year with the exception of like Sushi Striker or something. And that game might have been good. That's what people are equating Hi-Fi Rush to. Redfall was supposed to be the cake, the meat and potatoes on your dinner plate. Hi-Fi Rush is supposed to be the mashed potatoes or the green beans or something like that. That's all it should be. And I just hate that people are, both sides are putting it in this conversation when it shouldn't be. 199 from Hibachi. It's got big teeth. So do I. Yuri Lowenthal is definitely going to give us the career of his life with that performance, man. I cannot wait. His performance as Sasuke Uchiha walked, so his performance as Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man could run. Or in this case, fly. As someone who owns all systems, I like to dabble and pass around games with each system. Switch for the Nintendo stuff, PlayStation for first party and third party, and Xbox for Game Pass, and PC for indies. That's interesting. Just PC for indies, though. Really hoping things with this. Okay, well, okay, all right. B-Rex has been here for a while, but B-Rex, it's time. You got to tell us this story, bro. We need to hear this story. We need to hear this story, man. It is time. You are here. Neo, what was your reaction to December 3rd in Persona 4? Oh, fucking terrible. Fucking terrible, bro. That shit almost broke me. That's Persona's version of Chapter 5 in Xenoblade 3. Alright, so B-Rex Media, or B-Rex's Meme Quarter, is going to go ahead and type out his story. I think where we last left off in his story, he was telling us about he was asking this girl out or something. And we were excited to see where it went. Thoughts on Shannon Sharp leaving? He's leaving? When did he announce this? He just did? Oh, shit. I gotta check this out. What? Oh, man. Wow, he's really leaving Undisputed. Wow. Did he say what he's doing next or what? Shannon Sharp has reached a buyout agreement with Fox Sports to leave Undisputed and his partnership with Skip Bayless. Oh, man. Damn. Get him on First Take with Steven. Yo, if they were on First Take, oh my God. There would not even be a show. It'd just be those two going back and forth, which honestly might be more enjoyable. 199 from Bocce. Can you spoil Fast and Furious 10 or Fast X? I mean, we kind of did last week. We kind of did last week in our like later on. I just gave up hope and I just said fuck this movie. But yeah, no, we talked about it last week. That thing left me shocked, bro. Wait, you caught a agent watching porn at work? Oh God. Yo, you know what the wildest thing is? I remember one time at one of my jobs, I caught somebody watching porn, but it was the weirdest shit possible. Not the category of the porn. But he was just watching it like nothing was going on. Like he was just chilling there like he was watching a Netflix show. He was just like this. And I was there in the same room and I just heard something. I was like, every guy who's watched porn has heard that before. You're just like, what? And I thought nothing of it, right? Because, you know, I had one AirPod in, the other one I was just playing my game. And And I was like, the fuck? And I heard that. And I was just like, all right, let me make an excuse to just go walk around the room. So I got up, went to throw something out. You know, I was just walking by that person. I just went like, I looked down and I was like, oh man, wow. In broad daylight, this man was watching porn. I'm like, really? Man, he looked like he was watching, like he was reviewing that shit. Like he gonna go post a YouTube review afterwards. Or maybe he was mentally taking notes for him and his girl. I don't know, man, but that shit was wild. Hey, take it easy down, Otaku. Have a good one. This man, Acebreaker, said it'd be like that. Oh, good God. Good God, Acebreaker. Neo the type that was watching Pornhub on the family computer as a kid. Yeah, man. You know, when I was younger, you know what it was? No, never on the family computer. But when I was younger, when I first watched porn, because, you know, my mom, she didn't like give us any access to any of those cool TV channels. My mom was like a basic cable type of person. So I never watched like, all those adult channels after hours. So my first experience with porn was on this old computer that my dad gave me, right? Old school computer. I'm talking like Windows 2000 or some shit like that. And I remember I went on there and I was just like, the first thing I ever looked up, man. First thing I ever fucking looked up on the computer before I even knew to type in porn. Because I felt like porn was too, okay, that'll give me away. I typed in on Google, huge knockers. Because I had watched, I don't know if it was like a comedy movie or something, when someone used that to describe boobs. And I was like, I can't type in boobs. I can't type in porn, but huge knockers. And of course, Google back then had like the safe search settings. And I was like, oh yeah, let's turn that off. And so I'm just looking, huge knockers. And it was like women with huge knockers, but they weren't just like big boobs. They were like comically oversized big boobs. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm all about. Oh man. This man said a compact Rosario. Yo. And I was just like, wow. Yo, bro, I'm telling you, there were some weirdo people at the job watching porn randomly. First Google search should have been Rey Mysterio without this mask. No, I used to... Bro, imagine your parents are watching your stream right now. Man... I remember when my mom first found out I was sexually active at the age of 24. My mom found out I was sexually active and she was just like, oh, okay. But what my mom is that she's just like, listen, you're an adult. You're going to do those things. Just stay safe. Right. But then, you know, when my mom first found out I had sex, because it was just like, oh, you know, you're dating this girl. You guys had sex. And I was like, yeah, we had sex. And you're like, oh, okay, good. Just make sure you wear a condom. I'm like, thank you, mom. Thank you. You know, that was a very easy conversation to have. And then it just got weird, you know, like, cause I remember we had that convo. And then a few weeks later, randomly, my mom and I also had another convo. And she was just like, so when you had sex for the first time, and I was like, oh, so this is the convo that she wanted to have that first day, but she didn't want to be weird. And I was like, yes, mom, we had sex for the first time. Do you know what to do? And I was like, well, yeah, you know, I know what to do and everything. She's like, so what did you do? And I was like, mom, we ain't getting into this right now. We're not talking about this. She's like, oh, I'm just saying, you know. I'm like, oh, I know. My mom knows. Like, okay, but you use the condom, right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay, that's good. Are you the oldest of siblings? No, I'm the middle child. When your girl's in the room and Neo is talking about porn and huge knockers. Listen, I am very tame with my first search results compared to my girlfriend. Oh, God. She was over there looking up fucking yaoi porn, bro. Oh, B-Rex responded? Yeah, use the condom, she says. Good one, Neo. Listen, not everyone could be like Acebreaker. Acebreaker is just like, what? What is a condom? Is that like a new type of condiment? I don't know what y'all talking about. Raw dog for life? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, y'all are wild. But okay, B-Rex Media posted his story, you guys. So it's story time. I'm going to go ahead and read his story real quick. All right, so here we go. So B-Rex is story about him trying to ask a girl out. So I asked her to go bowling with me and some friends on Monday, but she had a family BBQ to go to. The good thing is, she said she would have loved to go if she didn't have that prior commitment. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that for right now. I'll do you one better. I was in a Walmart bathroom and there was a guy just going to town watching porn. Oh, this is about the porn stuff. Okay, never mind. I was like, wait a second. Whoa, wait a second. What? But okay, so you asked her to go bowling, you and your friends on Monday, but she had a family BBQ, but she said she would have loved to go if she didn't have the prior commitment. All right, so that's what you said. All right. Oh, what's up, Positive Gamer? All right. So here's the thing. That's cool, I guess, but honestly, my brother, you gotta take that with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer, but when a girl says like, "Oh, I would have loved to do that," sometimes they say this stuff, and it's not just women. It could be people in general being people pleasers. Sometimes they'll say that just so they don't hurt your feelings about saying no. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see as far as that goes. But you're really hoping things work out with her because you've been wanting to play It Takes Two and not sure if she plays games. That'd be really fun. Yeah, listen, if a girl's really feeling you, bro, she'll do anything to make you happy. But yeah, now BRX Media. I wish you the best, brother. You know what it is, my guy? I wish you the best. I missed one part. Okay, whoa, hold on, wait. So I've known her for about a year, and we met through work. We started texting last Monday, but we've been talking since April, and I'm not a mind reader, but she's digging me. Okay, so the only way that we can confirm this, bro, is you got to set up that date, because everything we're talking about right now is like cool, haha, hee hee stuff. And I'm not saying this to bring you down, my brother. I'm not. But until we execute some actions, man, until we get to the point where you guys are on a date, this is just us shooting the shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to ask her out on a date, set a time within the next like 2 weeks or so. And y'all do what you do, whether it's bowling or whether you play golf or whatever. And it's got to just be you guys. It can't just be a group setting. Group setting stuff is fun if you want to feel some stuff out. But if you say she's really digging you and she be bullying you on at work and everything and all that stuff, and you be having fun, and maybe have y'all been like casually flirting? Like, we won't know until y'all go out on the date and confirm this shit. So yeah, that's will be the next thing, man. That's gonna be the next thing we need to see. Yeah, she also just broke up with some guy at the end of April, so I'm not trying to rush into anything. And yes, we do be flirty. Ooh, okay, so definitely take your time with this shit, bro. I will say, women who are fresh out of relationships, you got to be very careful. And again, for those listening, it's not just women, it's just people in general. But since he's dating a woman, I will say that. If they're fresh out of a relationship, you got to be careful. You got to make sure that you are not the rebound kind of dude, because she might be using you just to be like, oh, okay, well, he's more fun and he's more entertaining, blah, blah, blah. But if she hasn't unpacked everything that went wrong with the relationship, it's something you got to move very, 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 very carefully with, because it might seem really good on your end. And I don't want to bring down the mood, but just as someone who's been in the game for a very long time, I've seen all this stuff happen and unfold a certain way. And I could be completely wrong with my assumptions. It might end up like you marrying this chick and it's all hunky dory. But I want you to be careful. Don't really set yourself. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't look at this chick and be like, oh, this is going to be the one for me because she's feeling me. You got to, first off, give her time to process. And if that just means you hanging out, having fun, that's cool. But you have to know that you are hanging out with her and having fun with her as a friend, not as someone who's just trying to eventually bag her. Because trust me, my brother, the way the dating game is right now, if you wanted to like have sex or something, there are plenty of other people out there you can have sex with in a quicker amount of time. But you seem like a good dude. It seems like you're more relationship minded and you want to be monogamous. You have to know what you are expecting going into this. So don't necessarily go into this expecting be in a relationship with this chick and make it happen as soon as possible, because trust me, I've been there before and it's blown up in my face. But what you can do is just like move accordingly. Oh, she just got to have a relationship. Okay, I'll think about that the way I move certain things. So yeah, just take it from me, man. Don't make this the be all end all situation. Just realize that this is a temporary moment in time for you to have your fun. And if that fun is just you guys hanging out and going out on dates platonically while she works on her stuff, cool. But don't sit here and expect that, oh, well, you know, she doesn't feel the same way about me, even though we're going out and hanging out and I'm spending all this money, blah, blah, blah. Save yourself from all that, my guy. Save yourself. Speak them facts. I appreciate it, David Big Lod. Yeah. Don't just be the guy she only goes out on dates with for food and entertainment. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, and that's what I'll always say. If you're fine with hanging out with her because you genuinely value her relationship as a friend, that is cool. That is awesome. Good friendships are hard to come by. But also know your place. If you want more than that and you know she's not in a place to give you more than that, you don't want to delude yourself into thinking this is going to be more than what it is. So I'm just asking you to protect yourself more than anything. Yeah, it would have been a solo ask, but I heard she just left the relationship, so I think a group setting would be better. And yeah, like I said, if you just want to hang out and be fun, like, and have fun with her, like, that's cool, my guy. Just do that. I just want you to know exactly what to expect going into it as someone who's been in this type of a situation before. Hey, what's up, random black guy? Oh, y'all are wild. Hey, but they just speaking from experiences. What's up, Aiden? How y'all doing? If y'all are tuning into the stream for the first time, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. Currently got 69 viewers. Nice. We got 49 likes. Yo, Chris, is Tears of the Kingdom in your top 10 video games? I don't really like to say something's in my top 10 until I complete the game. It's definitely like top 10 fun games that I've played, because there's just some wild shit you pull off in the game, and just it brings me back to a really good time where you play video games and you see what is possible in games. And we don't really see that too often. Things are just more, things have been more about refining what's already there, and it's great, it's cool, but you want to see a little bit more, and Tears of the Kingdom does that. Neo, are you a big fan of the Mass Effect series? I'm thinking about booting up the Legendary Edition. Yes. Oh my fucking god, I love Mass Effect. Again, Mass Effect is one of those franchises where you could have something like a Call of Duty. You could have a lot of these franchises that are very samey and familiar, but there is no franchise out there quite like Mass Effect. Nothing can even come close to it. I'm surprised there really aren't that many more clones out there. Like, some things have taken certain aspects of RPGs in Western games, like dialogue wheels and trees and stuff like that, but the way Mass Effect handles everything from its narrative to its like when you start getting into like part 2 with the character missions, the loyalty missions, and how everything just weaves into the narrative, the whole Paragon Renegade system, and it's so good, man. It's so friggin' good. And yeah, I'm currently going through Mass Effect 2 at the moment. I put it down because, you know, I'm playing other stuff, but it reminds me of just such a really good time in gaming. It's great, man. And it's just, every time you play it, it's like, fuck, they were doing this in 2007. And that's why I love games like Mass Effect, games like Jade Empire, games like, well, a lot of early BioWare stuff. Games like Soul Reaver 2. You know, like, if you just look at like what they were pulling off from a narrative point of view with that hardware back then is unreal. Completely unreal. And now that those games are back, it just reminds people of what was possible and what is still possible to this day. And, you know, Mass Effect, it's out now on PlayStation, Xbox. If you have a Steam Deck, you can play it via Steam Deck, and it runs like 60 frames flawlessly. It's so dope, man. And that's why I'm really worried about Mass Effect 4 and the next Dragon Age, because I want a BioWare renaissance. But until they show us the game and they show us the quality of the game, I don't really know what to think, because a lot of the same people who gave us those stories like Origins and Mass Effect 2, they're not at BioWare anymore. The BioWare of today is very, very, very different. The BioWare of today is still very different from the BioWare that put out Anthem and, thankfully, Mass Effect Andromeda. Very different BioWare. So we'll see, man. But yeah, if you guys have not played Mass Effect Legendary Edition yet, definitely go out and do it. Or stay indoors and do it. Or, you know, with Cloud, you can do it. And with Steam Deck, you can download the game and play it. Are you thinking of buying the ROG Ally? So even though the ROG Ally looks really cool, and I love portable PCs, I'm not in the market for it because I have the Steam Deck. And the thing for me is, if I ever do want to upgrade to something, there has to be a significantly substantial upgrade for me to spend the money. At least in the sense of portable PCs, because I just bought one last year with the Steam Deck, and I spent close to $700 getting like the top of the line version with the better screen and all that stuff. Looking at the ROG Ally, yeah, you definitely get a boost in the performance, but it's still, a lot of these things are still very experimental, so they need a lot of updates. What they have going on as far as like PC games playing, it's not as smooth as Valve's approaches to it, because, you know, they have the big Steam big picture mode. It's running on Linux, like, it's just very unified. Sure, there are some game compatibility issues that come with it, but for the most part, you boot it up, you play, versus the RG Ally where you're operating a handheld PC, so it's still a little more cumbersome. But once they get a lot of the updates down to it, I might upgrade my portable PC within like the next year, 2 years, something like that. But it looks really solid if you don't have one of these devices already. But yeah, I'm just not in the market to spend another like $600, $700 on that and still have to deal with some of the issues. But it is a real good plus if you don't have that and you want to play like Game Pass games and download that. That I can see it being a really big selling point for people. Download games from the Windows Store, download games from Epic, because, you know, Steam Deck, you have to like boot up Windows on the Steam Deck in order to do some of that stuff, which is a little bit of a hassle. I mean, not really, I say that, but it isn't. But I'm just that person. I just want things to be done by the machine itself. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. It's cool, though. I can't find new copies of Final Fantasy VII Integrate physical in stock anywhere. Didn't think it'd be that hard to find. Yeah, I've noticed that too. It definitely seems like they didn't have a lot of copies printed for that because it was just the DLC and a reprint of Final Fantasy VII. Like, basically, they had like the PS5 version on or whatever. So, yeah, that sucks, man. What are you playing on your Steam Deck? So I haven't been playing anything recently, considering I have my Switch and I'm on Zelda. But, you know, when I played my Steam Deck, the majority of games that I played were games from like the Xbox 360 PS3 generation that don't have modern console versions. So going through and playing stuff like Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Spec Ops The Line, those games run phenomenally on Steam Deck. I'm talking like native resolutions, amazing frame rates, great performance all throughout. So those type of games, and just also pushing the limits of the hardware to see like what's possible in some of the more modern stuff, like trying out Jedi Fallen Order on the Steam Deck. But yeah, primarily it's just been playing a lot of old school games from that era, games that don't have modern console versions, like Max Payne 3 is a great example as well. You know, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. You know, some old JRPGs that aren't on modern consoles, like Legend of Hero Trails in the Sky. You know, just random shit here and there from my library, because Steam Deck is just, it's fun to test out all those things. Neo, does Microsoft still own Mistwalker? I want to see Lost Odyssey 2, but I know it's never going to happen. I'd have to, I believe so. Let me go ahead and search. I don't think they did, because they would still be in the studios, in their studio list. I think it's a studio that they worked with. No. So Mistwalker is not owned by Microsoft. Yeah, it's a private company. Yeah, it's a private company. And yeah, they've just been doing a lot of mobile stuff. Like their last console game was, they co-developed The Last Story in 2011. They've just been doing mobile titles ever since then. So the studio is not really equipped to work on something on the scale of a Lost Odyssey sequel or a Lost Odyssey remake or whatever. But yeah, no, it's definitely something that they would either have to start a studio, or they would have to go ahead and have to license the IP out to somebody else, because yeah, Mistwalker is not equipped to make that game, and all the other studio, like the studio that they co-developed it with, Field Pulse, they're not around anymore. They were closed down in like early 2010, something like that, after they put out Mind Jack. Oh god, y'all remember that game, Mind Jack? Jesus. Yeah, example, Fallout New Vegas, another great game that runs on the Steam Deck phenomenally well. Well, not phenomenally well. There was a little bit of a compatibility issue I had to do. I basically had to install Fallout 3 just so I could install Fallout New Vegas, because it needed something from the Fallout 3 installer. Like I said, it's one of the weird troubleshoots when it comes to PC gaming. Strange situations. Neo, what's your favorite era of anime? I would definitely say my all-time favorite era was probably going to have to be it's cliche, I know, but I love the 1990s. Everything from the early 1990s to late 1990s, I feel like it was just a perfection of like the tail end of the 80s and what they were trying to do, you know. So obviously, like, Yu Hakusho was one of my favorites. Of course, I love Outlaw Star. I love Cowboy Bebop. And then the perfection of the 90s bleeds into the early 2000s with things like Samurai Champloo. So I would definitely say that that's like my favorite era. Like that whole decade block, the 90s is awesome. That's not to say there isn't good stuff in 2000s. It's good, but I think when you start getting into the 2000s, if you're looking for like mainstream stuff, the mainstream stuff gets just very, very samey, very familiar, very templatey, which is fine for the audience that they're setting out, because I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't one of those people. Like, I grew up, I watched Naruto, I saw Bleach, I saw all these shows. But the success of some of the smaller titles that we would have seen in like the 90s or different shonens, like, they don't have a shonen on the level of Yu Yu Hakusho airing nowadays. Like, that type of show, no, they don't. Like, a lot of the shonens that are put out, they're just very, okay, we're gonna make it very generic because this is what our audience appeals to, or it's gonna be so outlandishly different because we want to capture that audience. So if you're looking for more interesting stuff, you definitely have to look into some of the smaller things that are coming out, you know, the things that aren't really that bombastic. Like, there's a lot of new stuff I'm watching now, like Chainsaw Man, I think has a lot of potential. I want to see where that goes. I love Spy Family. I love like Spy Family, for example, with how big that series has gotten. It is so surprising to me, and I love it. So fingers crossed it keeps up the momentum with the storytelling. But yeah, things like that, like Full Metal Alchemist, like, where is this generation's Full Metal Alchemist? A show like FMA that comes out, it tells its story, that's it, under 100 episodes. Like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, even if you were to like make it the perfect version where you add in the story content from 03, that show is like no more than 70 episodes. 75 if you're like that. Shows like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, like those type of shows, this is the story we got to tell, and that's it. That's it, guys. Like, those type of series, like, we don't get that shit anymore. Like, I know, yeah, because people want to stretch some stuff out, but honestly, like, if I see some, like I don't want, and I'm glad the industry is not going this direction anymore, but like the era of where we see like 100+ episode animes, I'm like, no, stop this. Get Backers is awesome. See, another example, Mob Psycho, very small show, under the radar to a lot of the mainstream people, but Mob is so awesome in the story that it has to tell. Yeah, that's why I like Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer gets a lot of hate from people who say that, oh, Demon Slayer's not that great, y'all just hyping it up because of the animation and blah, blah, blah. The thing I love about Demon Slayer is that it knows exactly what it is, it tells its story, and it's done. That's it. It's over. Like, you don't have to just drag things out for so many seasons and everything. And I thought My Hero Academia would be one of those shows where it's like, this is the story we have to tell across like 5 solid seasons, and then that's it. And it's like, motherfucker, that thing is still going. Do you agree with Young Defiant's statement that anime is dead? I don't think anime is dead, Aiden, because that's like saying, oh, cinema is dead, TV shows are dead. I say there are certain genres that if you're a big fan of those genres and they aren't putting out the content, then yes, to you, that content is dead. But there's still always really good stuff to watch. Sure, the mainstream stuff might be garbage and just like, ugh, terrible. Like right now, isekais are running rampant. Like there's way more bad isekais out there than there are good isekais. Very low effort type of energy being put into these productions. But I equate that to the Hollywood version of blockbusters. Like, let's be real about life for a second. Like most of the like the top grossing movies, the vast majority of them, they're not like phenomenal like pieces of art and filmmaking. They're good for what they are. They're great, awesome, and every now and then you have a really good one slip in. But that's fine for what they were trying to tell. There's still a shit ton of awesome, amazing experiences out there that are cinema, that are great. Like, dude, this year alone, 2023 has been incredible for independent projects, for blockbusters, for like smaller scale blockbusters like John Wick, for example, coming out and posting all these numbers and being a great fucking 4th installment. And then, you know, we have other stuff coming out like Barbie and Oppenheimer. Like there's a lot of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, phenomenal third entry in this franchise. Like there's a lot of good stuff. Air with Ben Affleck. It's great, dude. So I don't think anime is dead. Everybody always says that if there isn't like a genre you're looking forward to, which to you, fine. But for most people out there, there's still something to watch and something to enjoy. You might not like the shonen-y stuff, but you know, check out some of the other stuff like you know, Vinland Saga might be a good show for you to watch if you don't like things like Black Clover or whatever. Like even Bleach. So my girlfriend and I told you guys this. She's a big Bleach fan. She wanted to watch the new season of Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. So we started watching that a few months ago. And like I said, we've been taking our time with it because I guess we don't have that much interest in watching Bleach by comparison to the other stuff we check out. But we're finally at the end of it. I think we only have 2 episodes, which is right in line with when the next season premieres. But yeah, so far, like watching that season of Bleach Thousand Year Blood War was probably the most amount of enjoyment I had watching Bleach since like the early seasons. Like, sure, Tite Kubo does his Tite Kubo things where it's just like, oh, okay. But at the same time, the production level of that show, of Thousand Year Blood War, is fantastic, dude. Oh my god. Like I said, I don't fuck with Bleach, but the production level of this season, the music, the visuals, the building tension, the fight scenes, like the backstory, the history, like this shit is good. This shit is like legitimately good. I'm like, wow. Like, why can't the rest of Bleach be like this? Yeah, Bleach Thousand Year Blood War feels like one giant long movie. Kubo is not a great writer. Well, we know he's not a great writer. We know that. But at least the scale and scope of what's happening in this new season, I can be on board with as someone who doesn't fuck with Bleach. And I know some people are surprised to hear me say that, but no, I keep it 100 when it comes to this shit. If it was trash, I would tell you. But I'm just watching this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I'm excited to see what happens in this new season. You know, I might watch that weekly. I don't know. But this is not an endorsement of me telling people to go out there and watch Bleach just because. It's not that at all, people. It's just me acknowledging that Bleach occasionally has some good stuff. Yeah, Kubo's art, the way he draws black people especially, Kubo is good. He draws fashion very well. He draws the brothers and sisters very well. Like, I look at Kubo and I'm like, you know what, Kubo, you can get an invite to the cookout. Like, your black people look like black people and they look dope as shit at the same time. That man give black people all kinds of different hairstyles. Yeah, Dr. Stone I heard is another good series, but like I said, I'm very particular on like what anime I watch these days. And if I look at the episode count and if that shit is not good, like Attack on Titan was one of those shows where I looked at it like when I had to catch up to Attack on Titan, I think because I'd only watched like season 1 and then I caught up with 2 and then 3 and then I prepped myself for 4. Attack on Titan would have been like, okay, that's my limit, like 70 something episodes. Because if it went over 100, I'd be like, fuck that. Yo, Corey Gryffindor, I could see you getting the Kubo fits, man. I could see you doing that. Nah, but I've been rewatching Code Geass recently. Code Geass has just been one of those shows I put on randomly, like if I'm eating breakfast or something, or I'm winding down. I just put on an episode of Code Geass, and I was like, oh, I miss this. Code Geass is like Death Note if Death Note's second half was better. Code Geass is the shit, dude. Like... Oh, Community? Nice. I try to rewatch Community every couple of years. Like, that was my thing. Like, a lot of my comfort shows that I always go back to for comedy. So things like My Wife and Kids, Martin, The Office, South Park, early seasons of Family Guy, Community, The In-Betweeners UK version, of course. Those things, I love that. Oh, I skipped your super chat, Julian. I'm so sorry, bro. Let me go back. Oh, here it is. You are right. I'm so sorry, my brother. So Julian Phoenix sent in a $4.99 super chat. Sony is officially making a live-action Miles Morales movie. I'm scared, but I want Kenny from Cobra Kai to play him. So yeah, they just announced this today. So Sony, not Marvel Studios, Sony producer Amy Pascal and Avi Arad announced two things. First one is there is a animated Spider-Woman Spider-Verse spinoff in the works. They have a movie for that coming. And according to Avi Arad, it's sooner than we expect. And then Amy Pascal said that a live-action Miles Morales movie is in the works. Which, as a Spider-Man fan, I am excited to see Miles show up in live action. I think what Marvel has done with Miles as a character, especially in the past couple of years, is great because they finally gave him better writers and they actually made him a character and not just the Peter Parker clone, which is awesome to see. It's a shame it took like the back half of the 10 years that he was around for that to happen, but hey, I digress. So I love Miles. I love what they've been doing with him in like the Spider-Man game, in the Spider-Verse animated cartoon, and you know, occasionally every now and then he's written well in the comics. But what I am scared of is that Sony is going to look at the success of Spider-Verse and they are literally going to do everything wrong. So basically what I'm talking about is the reason why it's so funny, because everyone brings this up. Sony as a company can greenlight and bankroll productions and creative talent that gives us stuff like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But to the same degree, Sony will also do corporate interference with stuff like Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and of course the Venomverse with the Morbius movie, with the Venom movies, and now, oh boy, we got El Muerto coming out. But as excited as I would be for a Miles Morales movie, I do not trust Sony Pictures as far as I can throw them, which is not very far at all, because I can't throw Corporation, because they're rooted to the ground. What worries me about this is that literally they're only doing this just because they see the popularity of the character, which obviously, yes, corporations are in the business to make money, of course. But when you don't have creative talent attached to it and you're doing this just because you want to prop up your universe, like I don't care what people say, like the Venomverse universe they have going on with the Venom movies, whether you like them or not is irrelevant. They're not as good as they could be. The best things people say about it is, well, I had fun with it. Even though it's a bad movie, like I had fun with it. And that's what matters. I'm like, is this the bar that we've really reduced ourselves to? They're not great movies, but they're stupid. I have fun with it. Like we could be getting so much more from them, at least on the live action side of things. They let Sony Pictures Animation cook with Spider-Verse, and that's cool. But with live action stuff, it's like, okay, if Venom is the best they can come out with, and then we have Morbius, and now we have Kraven the Hunter. And then they're doing a they're doing something with Madam Web. Oh boy. And who knows, maybe those movies might come out and they're great. We'll see. But Sony's track record is working against them in that respect. And what worries me about Miles, and the reason why I say this is because I have a fear that they might make Miles the default Spider-Man in the Sony Venomverse, which is such a disservice to the character. His first live action appearance, if they put him in that junk universe, oh my God. Because you have to look at it like this. What? They're building up a Sinister Six that is not so sinister? Like, dude, Venom is not a villain. And I know people will say, like, well, he's an anti-hero, but, like, let's be real about life. The first time Spider-Man came across Venom, it was in an antagonistic role, and that's how it's been for a while. And sure, he's an anti-hero now, but come on now. So what? Spider-Man is going to go up against the Venom that's quipping all the time that is really not that threatening? Yay. You wasted Carnage. Okay. Michael Keaton is going to be dicking around in this universe because end of Morbius happened. Jesus Christ. And yeah, like looking at like all these other characters like Kraven the Hunter, is he really going to be villainous? Like, what are we even doing? These aren't villains. These aren't villains that Spider-Man is going to go up against. These, like, at best, these are people who Spider-Man could have a disagreement with one time about something, not really villains. And that's the worst part about it. You're not going to have any adversaries. The best possible scenario, and this is what I think they should do as far as bringing Miles into live action, what they need to do is get together with Marvel, right? Get together with Marvel and build up Miles in the background of Peter Parker's next group of movies. And the reason why I say this could work is if you have the next Spider-Man movie come out, right? It's about Spider-Man and his adventures being an adult and having no support system, which is awesome. Basically what Spider-Man has been like for the past 60 years. We finally getting that after 4 movies. So it's going to be Spider-Man doing his thing, but who knows? Maybe we get a cameo from Miles Morales, right? Maybe Miles is there and he plays a very, very minor supporting role. And then you go to the 5th movie. What if Miles gets powers? Oh shit, he gets bit by a spider. What is happening, right? And then from there, you could do a spin-off movie where we see Miles's first foray into being Spider-Man, which I think might be kind of redundant depending on how they handle it, since we just got the animated Spider-Verse movie, and I think they did it very well, especially how they added a lot of heart and humanity to it. But seeing how Marvel might tackle it, we'll see. I'm not so sure. Then again, this does give them an excuse to have a Spider-Man origin story done in the MCU. But they got to make it very, very different than what's come before. But you have that movie with Miles. We'll see what he learns. And then from there, you can maybe have them team up together in a Spider-Man movie. Like, just be about those two. And then you can have a final Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. I know this is just a bunch of Spider-Man shit being thrown out there. But a final Spider-Man movie where, you know, Peter Parker retires for whatever reason. You don't got to kill him, but he retires. And then Miles is the de facto Spider-Man in the MCU. Which I think would make a lot of sense because Tom Holland, he said repeatedly, and this might just be for negotiations and dealings, but he doesn't know if he'll play Spider-Man forever. And then when he re-ups his contract, he's like, yeah, I'll play Spider-Man forever as long as they're throwing $20 million my way. But yeah, I think after this next batch of Spider-Man movies, realistically, let's just say if they get the next one out in 2025, right? If they get that out in 2025 and then you do these movies consistently for a solid 6, 7, 8 years, Tom Holland will be, at that point, Tom Holland will be like, what, in his mid-30s, early to late 30s by the time everything gets said and done, which I think is a nice like jumping off point for the character. And then whoever they get as Miles will be Miles until I guess he gets tired of it as well. And who knows, they might reboot everything. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I would love to see Miles, but only if he's in the MCU. I don't want to see him attached to Sony because you just know Amy Pascal and Avi Arad, they don't know what the fuck they're doing as far as the creative front is concerned. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, dude. Red Sage, that's the thing. I would love to see an older Peter interacting with a younger Miles. Like if they made that distinction, like let's say for example, if Andrew Garfield came back as Spider-Man and he was the mentor to Miles, I think that would be incredible because Andrew Garfield is already an older Spider-Man, not too old yet, but he is an older Spider-Man, and that'd be a perfect juxtaposition for him. But the thing with Tom Holland is if Tom Holland is teaching a younger Spider-Man, it's still going to feel weird because I still view Tom Holland as a very, very young Spider-Man. Because, like, let's be real, he's still very young. He's had the training wheels on this whole time. But again, it comes down to the writing aspect of it. And who knows, by the time we see Spider-Man in the next movie they do, he might give up those, like, older Peter Parker vibes where he's been experienced and he's done all this shit. And if they could do that, and in about 2 movies or so, he starts mentoring Miles. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Hey, take it easy, Corey Gryffindor. Thanks for coming through, bro. Spider-Verse tickets for that sweet $5. Thank you, T-Mobile. Yeah, I'm seeing Spider-Verse tomorrow afternoon, you guys. I bought tickets for my sister and I. We are going to see it at hold on. We're seeing it. Let me see what time we're seeing. I think we're seeing it tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We're definitely catching like the earliest showing. Yeah. So we're seeing Spider-Verse tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., which is the earliest showing I could find. And it happens to be in Dolby Cinema. So that's friggin' sick. But I'm excited to see it. You know, it's been a long time coming. Can y'all believe it? It's been 4.5 years since the first Spider-Verse movie. 4.5 years. And it's insane because this movie at one point was going to come out like what, 2021, and then it got pushed back because of COVID and everything, but everything happens exactly when it's supposed to. I'm so excited for that shit. Man, I'm tempted to do like an out of theater reaction. I might do that because I do have to up my YouTube Shorts game. You know, YouTube Shorts. 10 years ago, that would have meant something completely different. Like, yes, you can finally wear pants where you do YouTube videos, but now in the summer you can wear shorts. But I'm excited, man. I'm so fucking gassed for this shit. It's still my number one most anticipated movie, and everything has been great this year. As far as like all the movies that I've seen for the most part have been really, really solid. Right? The worst movie I've seen, because I don't really go out and actively look for bad movies, but like the worst movie I've seen is Fast X. You know? So I'm excited for this movie. I'm excited for Transformers. I'm excited for just so much shit coming out, man. Ugh. First time I pre-ordered a ticket. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't think it's going to be crazy sold out, but the word of mouth of this movie, especially if it is as good as what people are saying, the word of mouth is going to be so strong. And if that is so strong, it's going to get people into the theaters more. That's basically what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy. Apple's Masquerade. In 2018, we got Spider-Man PS4 and Into the Spider-Verse. And in 2023, we're getting Spider-Man 2 and Across the Spider-Verse. They're aligning the Spider-Man stuff well. Yeah, dude. Spider-Man fans outside of the comics, we are eating very good. We are eating very, very good. It's been a great couple of years. Shame if you're a fan of comics, bro. Yeah, like this year alone, I'm just looking at like the movies that I've seen. I'm looking alone at like the movies I've seen this year. Okay, so going into my history. So just based off AMC, when I've seen movies in AMC theaters, I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. I saw that movie twice, right? I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 times. I'm seeing Spider-Verse twice, once with my girlfriend and then once with my sister. I'm seeing The Flash this month, well, technically next month, June, but you know, it's about to be that. I'm seeing The Flash. Heading into the Regal app. Oh my god, just looking at, oh my god, look at all my past movies. Let's see my purchases. Okay, so I saw The Little Mermaid. I saw Fast X. I saw Evil Dead Rise. I saw John Wick Chapter 4. Let's see. And I know there was more there, but it's not being pulled up. I saw, let's check the Alamo Drafthouse. Where's my history? Why aren't you showing me my history, guys? Oh, here we go. Purchase history. I saw Suzume. I saw Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I saw Scream 6. I saw Cocaine Bear. Unfortunately, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Yeah, so that's that for the Alamo. And then, yeah, there were some other movies that I saw that it's not being pulled up. But yeah, seen a lot of movies so far this year, man. Fucking, and I love them apps, bro. AMC A-List, the Regal, whatever their shit is called. It's so good, man. Spend like $23 a month. You see all the movies you want. Yeah, Doom Part 2. Dude, there's a lot of shit like Doom Part 2, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, Barbie, Oppenheimer. Like, there's so much shit coming out, y'all. Yeah, I have both of them. I have both because I go to Regal more often than AMC just because the Regal is in my city. It's literally like a 5-minute drive. And my Regal theater is nicer than all the AMC theaters I've been to. So I have Regal, but in the movies I want to see in Dolby Cinema, which are like the big blockbusters, I have an AMC account. I drive basically like 15 minutes up north and I see the movie there, and it's worth it for Dolby Cinema, man. Dolby Cinema is awesome, dude. Regal has better food than AMC. So here's the thing. Outside of popcorn, Gene, I don't really buy a lot of concessions because I am that type of person. I do sneak in stuff. I sneak in protein bars and shit like that. The most I ever buy at the movie theaters is just popcorn. And I'll say, like, out of the three, Alamo Drafthouse definitely has the best popcorn compared to like Regal and AMC. But yeah, I don't really buy like nachos or pretzels or whatever else people get from there. If a movie does have a dine-in section, I will definitely do that. Like I've bought, because my Alamo Drafthouse, you know, it's a dine-in theater. They have like burgers, they have sandwiches, and they have pizzas. It's decent, nothing crazy, you know. But you know, being able to like watch and eat food and drink movie, wow, you to be able to watch and eat food and drink movies at the movies, yeah, it's dope. Buying food at the movie theater, it will be like your slice of pizza is $15. You know what the funny thing is, Mickey? If you go to Alamo Drafthouse, like you can get a whole personal pizza pie for like $13-14, which I don't think is too bad by comparison just buying like one soda and that shit is like $10, you know? Do you think Secret Invasion will be the best Marvel series since Loki, or will end up being another flop? The trailers look like a good change of tone. Yeah, the trailers look really good, but the thing about these Disney Plus shows is until I've watched it all the way through, I don't have judgment anymore, because I remember getting so excited for a lot of these shows, and some of them I enjoyed for the most part, but I always just get burned towards the tail end of it, you know? Like, at least Loki kept things interesting, WandaVision kept things interesting, but everything else, it's like Falcon Winter Soldier, I liked a lot of good aspects of it, and then it's like, oh, you floundered the ending. Oh. You know, same thing for Miss Marvel. Oh. So we'll see, you know? Like, I want Secret Invasion to be great. It looks like it's taking itself seriously. So we'll see what happens. Oh, you're saying the coffee is randomly fire? Hey, look at that. Yeah, every now and then I like to try their specialty drinks and stuff. I have a Letterboxd account, but I did that just to like make the tier lists and everything. I need to go ahead and actually utilize that now that I've been watching a lot of movies. Yo, NGS, hope you're doing good, bro. Been following your channel since the Ninja Storm 3 days. I recently moved to the US and I'm a guest in your country, and watching you now feels like a trip to me. Oh, wow. That is awesome, bro. Well, first things first, thank you for all the support through the years. And second, congratulations on moving over here. Are you here? So you're here like permanently? And where did you move from? Because I know that'll probably be like a culture shock for you. I want Ahsoka to be good, Jay Ransom. I want Ahsoka to be good, but just we gonna see, man. Andor gave me hope, but that's mainly because Tony Gilroy doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars, and that's why I think the series is great. Because he's like, we're just making this a show. I don't care about your space wizards. I was like, oh yes, thank you, Tony Gilroy. Oh, you came from Kuwait. Oh man. Well, welcome here to this fine country, bro. I know shit is insane on the news, but for the most part, the people here are really sound and solid. Again, depending on where you live, but you know, there's a lot of good stuff to this country, despite all the bad shit that happens. Sneak in a bottle of Henny. Hey, listen, this man said a whole bottle, like not like a flask, not something little. He said the whole bottle. That's how Acebreaker starts the movies. He downs half a bottle of Hennessy, and then from there, the movie begins. Ghost of Tsushima is awesome, dude. That intro sequence when it does the title card, ooh, so good. So good, man. Yeah, but if you guys are interested in going to the movies on a consistent basis, definitely look into like AMC A-List or the Regal. You would think I would know the name of the Regal one. What is it, like Regal All Access or... Hold on. Regal Unlimited, right? So Regal Unlimited, you get to see a different movie every single day. AMC A-List, you can see 3 movies a week. Now, it might sound like the Regal one is a much better deal, which it is if you like seeing standard movies. But the Regal, the AMC app lets you see Dolby movies and IMAX movies at no additional charge, which is the one leg up it has over the Regal app. So Regal, you can, if you really wanted to see more than 3 movies a week, the Regal app is for you. But if you only see stuff in like Dolby Cinema, if you're that bougie like me, then the AMC app is definitely for you. The Regal app does give you a discount off of like the IMAX tickets. Like let's say for example, normally IMAX tickets around me are like almost $25, but the Regal app, it only charges you $7 for IMAX shows, which I think is not bad. Oh yeah, news blows everything out of proportion. So far it's been great, really different from back home, but slowly I'm being Americanized. Yeah, man, you know, it's cool over here. I will say this though, be careful about the temptations of food because we have a lot of dope food here in the US. But man, be careful because you know there's this saying over here when people go to college called the freshman 15. You better be careful because you see all this different food from all these different cultures and shit that's here, man. You enroll in the gym, get your cardio game going, man, because there's a lot of good food. Especially if you're like in the South. Oh man, when you got like some of the Tex-Mex stuff, like oh my god, it's so fucking good, man. Oh, dude, that sucks, Mickey. Yeah, you know what it is, man? Like, I always try to squeeze in movies even when I'm busy, especially if it's like in a format that's not going to be around. Because, you know, like different movies, when they come out in Dolby Cinema or IMAX, they book times in that format. So I make sure, like, yo, if I only have X amount of time to watch this movie in this format, I'm going to see it there. That's why I always make sure, like, if it's something like Guardians or John Wick or whatever, I want to see it within, like, the first week or two while it's in those formats. Because, man, if you have a movie that is shot in IMAX, oh, God, it looks incredible. I gained 30 pounds in the first few months. I'm out here in Phoenix. Mexican food is amazing. Yo, so you know what it's all about, Dark. You know what it's all about, Darkness. Holy shit, my guy. Well, yeah, definitely. You know what? Get those cardio gains, bro. Because I'm telling you, that 30 pounds, it don't stop there, bro. There's so much good food out here. Hey, more power to you, Reed94. Get that gaming done. But yeah, I love movies, you guys. I love movies so much. Throughout the month, like, bare minimum, I make sure I see at least, like, 2 movies. It's usually more, but it's just the way I like to spend my time, you know? Like, it's just, it's cool to me. Because we went almost 2 solid years where we didn't have access to movie theaters. And when we did, they weren't showing a lot of movies. So, just now, being in a time where we're catching up for all the movies that we missed back then, it's fun, man. It's a great year for movies. Great year for games that aren't named Redfall. It's awesome. Oh, no, you good, B-Rex. You good, my brother. And, you know, that's the cool thing. That's kind of why, like, I love going to movies with my girlfriend, because she never really went to the movies like that. Most people that you come across, they don't go to the movies like that. They maybe go to the movies, like, once every, like, what? Other month? Some shit like that. Unless you're really into this stuff like we are. Like, more people will be inclined to go to the movies if it's something like a Star Wars or a Marvel or whatever, or a Batman. But like most people don't be just going to the movies randomly. So when she started dating me and I'm just like, oh, okay, let's get you set up with this like movie theater subscription. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, you know, if we're going to the movies often, it makes the most sense financially. She's like, wow. And then she's just so surprised that there's like all these great movies that come out. And I was like, yeah, you know, like it's awesome. Off topic, but saying thanks, been watching since I was 12. Oh, thank you, Luffy Gear. I appreciate that. Yo, we got a lot of OGs in the chat tonight. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys always watching and your support. Your support is amazing. But, you know, just y'all being here, even if you're just tuning in for 5 minutes or, you know, you just dropping a comment saying like, hey, you know, first time commenter, long time lurker. Like, that shit is dope. Like, and that's what I always tell people, especially if they're just get involved in content creation or whatever. You don't know like how amazing it is to have one person watching your stuff. And that's what I think a lot of people forget when they start getting bigger and they start getting like thousands of subs and into the millions. You have people who are taking time out of the day to watch your shit. That's just so amazing to me. Like, y'all literally are taking time and energy to be here with me. Like that's so sick. It makes me want to say certain things about when I see certain creators who are just like, oh, you know, I'm not doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, you have random people from different parts of the world, Australia, Kuwait, freaking Texas, you know, London, you know, Shanghai, like all these random people know about you and your content and they support you. Like, that is just insane to me. And that is awesome. It's so fucking sick, dude. It's so sick. Hey, I caught the stream tonight. Look, exactly. We got Nahon, Lord of Bananas. I like that name. Lord of Bananas. DK, Donkey Kong. You know, it's just fucking sick. And you never know, like, who is supporting you in so many silent ways. Like, there's a lot of people in here, like, for example, Nahon said, hey, I caught the stream tonight. Maybe he's come to a couple of streams, maybe only once in a blue moon. Maybe he always, like, watches on the playback but doesn't say anything. That stuff is amazing to me. That stuff is so fucking sick. Like, oh, shit. It's great. It's fucking great. And some of y'all I've legit known. Some of y'all I've known longer than some family members in my life. Some of y'all I know better than some family members in my life. 15 plus years, man. It's sick. It's beautiful. Yep. And I never let that thought escape me. Like every single time where I'm just like, if I'm down for whatever reason, or if I just get burnt out, I'm just like, bro, there's fucking people out there who are rooting for you and they like you for you, you know? Like, so just continue to be that person. Continue to be that guy. Don't pretend to be anyone other than who you are, and you will find people who fuck with you for you. And it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Yeah, time flies, man. From hacking the Wii and doing like Naruto Storm 2 videos and talk about Kingdom Hearts, and here we are now, man. Yeah, at this point, your presence in my life takes up more than half of it. That's insane, because Jason, like, I became cool with Jason in 2015. That is almost 10 years ago of me actively knowing this dude, hanging out with this dude, seeing movies with this dude. You know, like, this man was at my birthday parties and shit. Like, we toasted to this man right before he went on his birthday party. He went on a fucking European excursion and shit. Like, it's fucking dope. Life is about making memories with the people you love. And it's awesome, man. It's fucking sick. And you know, when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, we channeling that old school Kingdom Hearts energy. When we get some Kingdom Hearts announcements and shit like that, you know we bringing it back. Kingdom Hearts news updates. Let's go. Oh man, Cutter Freeman, OG. I remember I made that video right before I went to work. When are you gonna react to those old videos? I've given myself some time off from the last stream we did where I got fucked up. So I think it is time for us to do that. When? I don't... You know what? We're going to do it before my 30th birthday. Before my 30th birthday, we are going to react to that stuff. What a way to enter a new decade by looking back on everything from the latter part of my second decade being alive. All right, so we're going to go for another 15 minutes, you guys, and we are going to wrap up the stream for the night. So if you guys have any other topics you want me to discuss or anything that I missed, feel free. Because after this, we have got some food to cook, we have got some games to play, we got a lot of stuff to do. Oh, you in Jersey? Yeah, we got a lot of Jersey fam out here actually. When are you doing a fan meetup in New York? Well, honestly, probably this summer, like legitimately. Like I've done little meetups here and there where it's like a couple of people, but it's just a couple of people, you know what I'm saying? Like 4, 5, 6 max. But if we're talking like a full-on meetup, we might have to plan something this summer. I want to keep it low-key though, like just enough people so we can go places and do stuff. Because if we start getting like 15, 30, 40 plus people, it's like, fuck, we got to rent out a place. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, like if we get a couple people out there, we can just go out to have some drinks, hit up a barcade or some shit. Ask Neo, old Neo edition. Oh, so you're saying like how it used to be where people submitted questions and I just answer them in videos? That would be fun, but it'd have to be like really funny questions that I could have fun editing. Copying Final Fantasy 16 day one. Maddie, I've known you for 12 years now, my friend. Is that a serious question, bro? Is that a serious question, my brother? I love you both. Really? Really, Maddie. Oh, I am both shocked and appalled that you would think I wouldn't get that game day one. Oh my god, Maddie. I've already paid off my pre-order. How could you do this, Maddie? Get over it, Naruto. He's gone. Are you playing Diablo 4? So I'm not going to be playing Diablo 4. There's just too many games that I have right now that I need to get to. But Diablo 4 is looking awesome, and I'm happy it's reviewing well. Everyone seems to be having fun with it. You know, all the people I know who are reviewing it professionally, they're saying the game is great. And I'm just like, fuck, this is great. Because when we have great games and everybody wins, we all fucking win. And I love it. But I definitely want to I do want to get Diablo 4 at some point. I did play Diablo 3 for a little bit. Nothing crazy. I got the Ultimate Evil Edition on PlayStation. And that was fun. But yeah, you know, diving into a new one with everybody might be dope. Yeah, I know, Maddie. I know. Hint to my true identity. I was featured in an Ask Neo a few years back and you couldn't pronounce my last name. Jesus. I have to go back and... Which Ask Neo was it? Because we had a couple. So we had the ones I did in the early 2010s. And then we had the ones I did in the mid 2010s. And I stopped doing that and I made Ask Neo the show you guys see now. Yeah, Maddie. Like, I remember we started getting... Like, I was aware of your existence in 2011. Because you were commenting on my Facebook fan page about... I remember I bought Enslaved Odyssey to the West on the 360. And you were commenting about, oh, it's a great game. I was like, oh, yeah, you know, I've heard good things. And then from there, we became like proper friends on Facebook. And then I remember we did a podcast together talking about what we want to see from E3 2012. So, yeah, it's like 12 years, man. 12 years. Yeah, 12 years ago, we didn't even have emojis like that. $2 super chat from Kid Stupefy. Nah, man got burned by Final Fantasy 15. Gotta see reviews first. I don't blame you, Kid Stupefy, because that Final Fantasy 16, I want to like Final Fantasy 16. I think was the last time I ever was like actively angry on camera, like actively like, what the fuck is this shit? Now when I'm angry, it's just a lot of fun. But back then, that was the game where I was just like, I tried to warn y'all. I tried. Y'all remember them videos? Hey, Flame, welcome back, bro. But no, I understand you wanting to see reviews because 15 gassed all of us. We were waiting 10 years for that shit. And we still waiting. We still waiting, man. That game is still not finished. And it'll never be finished. Hey, yo, them Dragon Ball Z Kai videos. Yep, I was saying, listen, if y'all want to see more anime on TV, you got to support Dragon Ball Z Kai and Nicktoons. And I was right. I was right, bro. Because then people kept supporting that shit. Then they brought back Toonami. And we started getting more anime and shit. And I was like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, 16 looks awesome. But I'm talking about Kid Stupefy. He said that 15 burned him. Wait, did I say 16 burned him? Okay, well, 15 burned him. 15 burned him. I'm sorry. Anime of now versus old school anime. You know what's funny, Luffy Gear? We actually had this discussion a little earlier back in the stream. I don't deny the fact that I'm not too invested in newer anime like I was before. Because a lot of newer anime, at least if you're talking about what's put in our face and what's advertised in our face, is not that great. Sure, you have some gems, and every now and then you have a gem that gets really popular. But if we're looking like the diversity and the shit that we had in like the late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, there was just a lot more. Nowadays, things are very formulaic and done a certain way because that's where the money is going, and I can't knock them. Like, listen, if that's where the money is, it is what it is. I can't fight it. But nowadays, my mindset has been there's always going to be something good to watch. Whether you think there needs to be more of a particular genre, like that's a different conversation to be had. Absolutely. Like I think that we need more giant robot, giant mecha anime that with really good stories to be told. And we don't see a lot of those these days. Everything I think has its place, and provided you realize there's more to the medium than just what is put in front of your face, you will find enjoyment in it. Because I'm always getting random recommendations of stuff that's good. Maybe not to the degree where you just have such a diversity. Like if you ask people back in the day, what were some of the anime that they grew up on? Even if it was just shonen, there was such diversity within the shonen stuff. Like, yeah, outside of the Naruto and the Dragon Balls and the One Pieces, then you start getting into the deeper stuff, like the Fullmetal Alchemists. And then you start getting into the stuff that's like, was in Jump, but it's not stereotypical shonen, like Death Note. And then stuff that's like adjacent to Death Note that people might like, which is Code Geass. And then you start going down and down the rabbit hole. Nowadays, it's not really like that per se. There is none of this like, oh, if you like this show, you might like this show, even though it's completely different, but they were both running in the same magazine. Things are just like, very, very samey. Where, yeah, if you like this, you're probably going to like this. There'd be different stories, there'd be different tones, there'd be like different levels of maturity, different like ways that they balanced and handled humor. That's completely different. Like the way Cowboy Bebop handles humor is completely different than another anime, but at the same time, they like two people can really enjoy those shows. Now it's like you can see a lot of the humor and stuff coming a mile away, and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks when you see this stuff. And isekai, I don't want to single out the genre, but that's just been what the genre's been the past like 10 years. So like isekai has always been around. You know, talking about things like Inuyasha, things like Fushigi Yugi. Isekai has been there. Portal to Another World, Door to Another World, Chronicles of Narnia is essentially an isekai. But to the degree where it is now, like after Sword Art Online came out, and I'm not the type of person who blames an anime for the downfall of stuff because it's stupid. But ever since Sword Art, you see like an expansion into the virtual world. And basically what it boils down to is people who don't want to live or they're not satisfied with their current life. So they have to go into this other world or whatever, or be somebody else. And then you can get into like the really interesting commentary on the Japanese society as a whole, where they have an over-reliance on telling this specific type of story where you are frustrated with your well-being in your life. So you have to escape to this fantasy narrative. And it's like, well, why can't we just make stories about people who are, I don't know, happy in their day-to-day life and they still go on these adventures, right? So, yeah, it does suck, but again, it falls on you as the consumer of this stuff to go branch out and find different things. Like, for example, Flame always repeatedly makes anime recommendations to me, and I let Flame know. I'm just like, Flame, I'm not into this ecchi shit. I'm not into this stereotypical shonen shit. Like, I need to save the world because blah, blah, blah. I want to get stronger. Like, I'm tired of that. I've been through that in my era. Like, it's done. But Flame is like, no. I got this recommendation for you. And even if it's something that does have some of those elements, he's just like, listen, that's not the main focal point of the show. There's other shit that are great. And I was like, okay. And then I take Flame's advice. I watch something. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. So, but the stuff that he recommends is like so different that it piques my interest. And I'm just like, huh? Like some of the titles, like Dress Up Darling. That name sounds sus, right? Crazy fucking shit. And then there's some random shit that people recommend. And I'm like, I don't know. But then it ends up being good. So, you know, I'm at that point where I just need to have good people in my circle who watch a lot of different shit to recommend me stuff that I wouldn't normally see. Because when I see the stuff that the normal shit people hype up, I'm like, I'm okay. Like, give me a nice solid 12 to 13 episode or 24 to 26 episode and I'll be good. Neo's favorite anime is Futa Fix Dine and Dash. No. That is Don Otaku's favorite game. Don't spread such slanderous lies, B-Rex. Bakuman. Yeah, Bakuman was a series I enjoyed. It was nice. Really good learning about the world of manga and how really cutthroat it is. Oh, God. School Days? Oh, Jesus. I remember I was in a Skype call watching that with people. Wow. Anybody remember Skype? You guys remember those days? I went back to watching my childhood anime that Kuwait TV would play in the morning with the Arabic dub. I had no idea it was Japanese anime. It was Sinbad the Sailor, LOL, made by Nippon Animation. You know what's funny? Darkness. Did you ever watch a show called Detective Conan? Because I know that was really big in the Arabic world. Like Detective Conan, they were showing a lot of episodes of that shit. It was edited, obviously, but they were showing that there. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thoughts on Eden of the East if you've seen it? I haven't, but one of my friends has been bugging me about watching that show for a very, very, very long time. I'm your boy. People call me the anime encyclopedia. Do they really, Jay Ransom? Is that your nickname? Is that your middle name? Is it on your birth certificate? We need the facts to back up that claim, good friend. Like, the last couple of anime that I've watched, okay, like newer anime, Chainsaw Man, I really enjoyed that. Spy Family, I enjoyed the first part of the season a lot more than the second part, but overall, I like Spy Family. It's a nice, wholesome thing. The new Urusei Yatsura series, which is like an all-star remix of the OG anime. What else did I watch? Mob Psycho, finished up season 3. Beautiful, phenomenal series. Other than that, let's see. I've watched random stuff throughout the years. Obviously, caught up on Attack on Titan, the new Bleach season. Snow White and the Red Hair, Yona of the Dawn. Just a whole bunch of like other stuff, like Mushishi I watched a few years ago. I'm talking about newer stuff that you guys know, like JoJo's and stuff I always watch and everything. Like yeah, there's a lot of like random things. Like I remember I went back and I rewatched The Race a few years ago. Erased is awesome. Fuck, Demon Slayer, Vinland Saga, you guys know this. Random stuff. There's stuff on my list like Oshinoko. That's another thing Flame recommended. Some of my favorite shows recently in the past couple of years that I've seen. Snafu, my teen romantic high school comedy. Snafu, I believe is the full name. That's good. Like I'm a big sucker for slice of life anime with really strong characters, great writing, great emotional moments, and great humor. And Snafu is like top of the list. It's so good. In addition to that, I saw Kaguya-sama Love is War, another fantastic show that someone here recommended. I believe it was Asbel Lant who said watch that. Have you rewatched Monster? Yes, I did actually. I did. I remember I just binged all of Monster, I think in like just a couple of days. And I was like, oh yeah, this show is still so good. Watch Orange if you want to cry. That's on my list, yeah. That's on my list. Like, there's a lot of animes. Haikyuu I saw a little bit of. Watched all of Kuroko's Basketball, of course. I do want to watch, what's that thing called? Blue Lock? Apparently everyone says that's a really good show. Really good soccer anime. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's Detective Conan Darkness. He makes his well, it's not his father, but it's like the guy who's taking care of him. He makes him solve the crimes. Yep. Well, One Piece, I'm like 2 years behind, so I have to catch up on the manga. But yeah, no, One Piece is always solid outside of the occasional dips in quality. Blue Lock is great. I love how Blue Lock just brought out people. It's just people who just like who haven't commented all stream. Oh yeah, watch Blue Lock, bro. Okay, back to lurking. I love it. Jujutsu Kaisen, obviously I watched that. I started watching a bit of Tokyo Revengers, but then my manager, who's into anime, he was just like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're gonna hate it by the end of the season. And I'm like, why? Well, what happens in the end of the season and then with the next season, you're not gonna like it. And I was like, really? And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And then I heard that sentiment from some other people, and I'm like, oh, fuck. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of stopped after I got a couple episodes in. Yeah, Captain Tsubasa is huge. $1.99 coming in from Luffy Gear. Fullmetal Alchemist Original, Code Geass, Naruto. Oh, those are the shows that you've seen? Okay, yeah. I mean, Fullmetal Alchemist and Code Geass are awesome. I will say I did rewatch all of FMAO3 recently with my sister after not seeing it in well over 10 years. And honestly, like, it didn't hold up as well as I thought it would. Like, the beginning is still good. It's a good introduction to stuff. But then you start noticing a lot of the filler stuff that they spliced in is really bad. And it's just there to bring down the pacing of the show. And then when you start getting back into the canon stuff, it's like, okay, cool. And then the show goes off and it starts doing its own thing by like the late 20s. And then it gets really weird. And it kind of, in my opinion, falls apart. But as its own thing, FMAO3 is fine. It's cool. It's definitely better than a lot of other anime. But when you watch Brotherhood and you read the manga, you're like, oh, so these are how the characters are acting. Because FMAO3 really didn't develop a lot of the side cast as well as Brotherhood did. Like, there's a lot of characters just in the military who play a big role in Brotherhood, and they just don't in FMAO3. Like Hawkeye, for example, and more of the stuff dealing with Mustang. And I was like, wow. So my sister and I were going to start rewatching Brotherhood. I mean, I've watched Brotherhood like, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've watched Brotherhood like beginning to end at least like 4 times. So this is going to be my 5th time in the span of like 15 years, which is awesome, man. Did you rewatch the movie to conclude FMAO3? Yes, we did watch Fullmetal Alchemist Conqueror Shambhala, where Hitler made a cameo appearance. Yes, we did. Fullmetal Alchemist 03 definitely does not miss when it comes to the outro songs. All the outro songs are incredible, and all the intro songs are good, with the exception of, I think, the 3rd one. Like, Melissa is awesome. Ready, Steady, Go is iconic. The 3rd one is just generic anime intro. And then the 4th one was Rewrite. Yeah, I'm going to see Asteroid City. I didn't watch the French Dispatch though, so I do want to watch the French Dispatch first, and then watch Asteroid City, because I saw Isle of Dogs on a plane. Loved that movie. I saw the Grand Budapest Hotel. I think Grand Budapest Hotel was like my first Wes Anderson movie ever, and I loved it. I bought it at Best Buy. It was like $5, and I was like, all right. And it was sick, dude. It was sick. So yeah, I need to at least watch his last movie. Wait, your friend saw Spider-Verse early and he says it's fire. He hasn't been this hyped since Infinity War. Oh hell yeah, dude. That's exactly what I want to hear. I watched Clannad on your recommendations, and I gotta say it's the greatest show ever of all the shows that only contains 7 good episodes. Listen, it's a slice of life show, so you know it's gonna be a lot of shit that's going on in the series with characters doing stuff, and then it starts to focus in the end, and then you get to After Story where it just breaks your fucking heart, and it's just wow, man. Oh, you got the Spider-Man ones, dude. That is sick. I'm still trying to track down those shoes. I am trying my very best, and every single time I see a drop for it, it gets sold out. I was like, fuck. But you know, I'm just probably gonna wear my. You guys know it's like my Nike 270s, which is like it's hot electric red. It looks so dope. So I'm just gonna wear that to the screening tomorrow. But yeah, speaking of which, it is well past our bedtime, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10:30 p.m. on a Wednesday, and we are still up streaming Ask Neo. Who even are we? Who are us? Who are we? I don't know. But you know what I do know? We're awesome fucking people. That's what. So I want to thank you guys once again for coming through to another fantastic Ask Neo. 2.5 hours just flown by very quick. You guys hear this all the time, but it doesn't make it any less true. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats, for all the mods. Everybody is there. And everybody who is watching on the playback, definitely comment down below about any of the stuff we discussed if you made it this far. And thank you to all the, just the random lurkers who decided to comment for the first time. That is so sick. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Shout out to Darkness, who is now a U.S. I believe you said you are a U.S. citizen now, or you are a guest in the country. Well, whatever it is, welcome to the U.S. I can see you're definitely enjoying the food, my brother. And yeah, before we go, you guys, we got to have something that we have not properly done on Ask Neo in a while, and I'm talking about a hydration check. Now, what an hydration check is my way of keeping y'all accountable, making sure y'all drink water, because we don't drink enough water all throughout the day. And normally for Ask Neo streams, I have my, liter of seltzer water that I sip throughout the stream. Don't have that today. I actually have to go out now and buy some seltzer water because your boy's craving some. But I will go downstairs and get myself a bottle of water. So if y'all can bear with me for 1 minute or so, I'm gonna grab some water and I'm gonna be right back. All right, y'all, we are back. The beverage has been acquired. Today we are drinking Acadia spring water from Stop and Shop. So yeah, we got some nice bottled agua to take us home tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, you guys, on the count of 3, grab your favorite H2O beverage of choice. David, no, put down the bottle of vodka. David, put down the tequila. You know how this guy be. The rum too, David. Yes, the moonshine. I'm just trying to think of other clear forms of alcohol. But yeah, you guys, on the count of 3, we're gonna chuck some water. 1, 2, 3. Hydration. I definitely drank half this bottle in just a couple of gulps. Hey, yo. But, yeah. I got some vodka, too. I'm gonna clear it. Oh, shit. Y'all is different. But no, we are definitely going to have another drinking stream at some point, because the last one was so much fun. Probably when we go back and rewatch old videos. So that way we can play the videos. And if I pass out, you guys can still watch the videos and you can just see me in the chair like, But I got some meth. Does that count? That counts as something. I don't know if that counts as water. Well, if that gets you to drink some more water, then listen, you do what you do. I just want to say this for all the potential and future sponsors. Ask Neo does not condone any of the actions of the people in the comment sections. All opinions and stuff are attributed to the respective parties and all that. But yeah. Anyways, you guys, from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out. And like always, no, we got to do that right. No, we aren't doing the sign off yet. Anyways, you guys, enjoy the rest of your mornings, your evenings, your afternoons, whatever time zone y'all are chiming in from. And for me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out. And like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.